moving out of focus, taking up my energy, yeah. How could I not notice that you became an enemy? Up so high, coming down with the gravity. You're pulling me down, down, down. I just wanna keep up, keep up. You're moving so fast without me. Supersonic. Supersonic. Don't fit in my equation. Addicted to a memory, yeah. A masterpiece fading since you became the enemy. Stranger that I used to know. When do we become this? Run wild like an animal, just trying to make it through the day, yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. I don't wanna say what I feel right now. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, you're pulling me up so high, coming down with the gravity. You're pulling me down, down, down. I just wanna keep up, keep up. You're moving so fast without me. Supersonic.
Only a sword in our hand, but we enter the lion's den. We're not waiting for a war, we bring the war to them.
seen enough things to lose hope, and here I am still going. I am even stronger now. Evil is lurking around you, and maybe I'm mistaken. You know I'm feeling right. Like something on my face, something in my veins, still hurts. And I don't know what it takes, don't know what it takes to move on. The more that I've done, the less I become. I just live forever within our souls. Some do even know, and life will go on. And then we'll become just nothing at all. Just nothing, just nothing, just nothing, just nothing at all. Nothing at all, nothing at all, nothing at all. And then we'll become just nothing at all. You've seen all the words we were so just to know what it meant, so you took it away. Till times were connected, I'm gonna forget it, you know it is done. There's something on my face, something in my veins, still hurts. And I don't know what it takes, don't know what it takes to move on. Something on my face, something in my veins, still hurts. And I don't know what it takes, don't know what it takes to move on. Something on my face, something in my veins, still hurts. And I don't know what it takes, don't know what it takes to move on. The more that I've done, the less I become. I just live forever within our souls. Some do even know, and life will go on. And then we'll become just nothing at all. Just nothing, just nothing, just nothing, just nothing at all. Nothing at all, nothing at all, nothing at all. And then we'll become just nothing at all. I've seen enough things to lose hope, and here I am still going. I am even stronger now.
Welcome to RLCS 2026 2v2 North American Open. I'm Stromboli FC. You're joining us here for day 2 of the coverage of the King's Castle. Nitya and Lev are back at it again, and we've got a much more important night here. Day 1 was yesterday, the first day of this Open. Of course, over 1,000 teams signed up to this thing. We're now down to the top, I think, 198 sides. So the number of teams has been cut down dramatically, and yet we're still in the upper bracket. This is what a bracket looks like today. Now, yesterday, perfect day. 3 straight matches, 3 straight sweeps, and best of 3s. Today starts the best of 5s. So matches are longer and much more competitive here. We are the number 16 seed in this tournament, so we are expected to go through uppers today, but no guarantees. Yesterday was guaranteed. There was no way we were going to lose. Today, not so much. And that last match, by the way, that last match of the bracket's going to be quite an interesting one. Deadlock, I checked who's on that roster. That is Flitz's team. That's a pretty good roster. Flitz has made top 16 before as well. That's a very well-known name. But again, Deadlock are expected final match. So that'll be the big match if we get to see them. Again, that is Flitz and Andy. Andy's made top 16 a couple times this season, so these are very known players. Flitz has made top 16 before. I think he made it last season. I don't think he's made it this season, but Andy's definitely made it this season. He was on, I want to say he was on Lotus 8 early in the season as well. So definitely well-known people. Andy's a well-known name to me as well. He's in a lot of different teams. He's been in a lot of different places. Well, this season hasn't exactly been so kind to Andy. Yeah, again, he's still making top 16s. That's what is like considered a bad result for Andy. I would consider this a interesting year for Andy. Not even a bad one. I mean, he's made top 16 multiple times, so he clearly knows what he's doing. He's just not been able to crack in past the top 16 all that far. Again, he has made it though. Back on Fellas actually was the last team he was on. Back in the last 3 opens, or 3v3 at least. That was again Fellas, which was a roster with Yazi and Zai. We've actually seen that team back at Open 6. They beat Team Silenced, including the roster that had Lev on it. So, we're moments away from getting things going. Moments away from getting things started here. Get a reminder though, every match today is a best of 5. So the matches are a little bit longer here. I'm looking forward to it. We've got some great action ahead of us here. Again, best of 5 action, best of 5 matches, longer matchups, more important matchups, more important games to play, and only moments away from our first series there against Employees. This is a B rank roster that is actually not a bad roster. I do know these people on Employees. That is Nova and Plude. Now, I don't know Nova necessarily because there's a good amount of people named Nova, but if it's the Nova RL I'm thinking of, that's a B rank player. And Plude, I do know who Plude is. There's no one else that I know of named Plude. That's a B rank player. These are both, I'm almost certain it's the Nova that I'm thinking of. They're B rank. This is a pretty good player too. So, we'll get into things momentarily here for what will be our first match. Again, all matches best of 5. This should not be the crazy match. The other match we're expected to play against afterwards would be Pyrix on a boat and it's Tuff, which is Pyrix and Tuff, if you're wondering. That's what the Tuff, joke is there. But that's a B plus ranked team. And then, of course, the last match would be against Andy and against, Deadlock, which again is Andy and Flitz. Those are X ranked players, so just about the same rank where we are. That's a pretty tough match, not one we're guaranteed to win. To go through uppers, we'd need to win all 3 matches straight. Sometimes there's a lose condition. Reminder, back in 3v3 when there was teams auto-qualifying in the top 32, there was a lose condition for that 3rd round where if you lost, you'd still make it, and you'd still be in, you just have a lower seed. That's not true when there's no auto-qualified teams. You do have to win your way through. So if we were to lose that, we'd have to play a match in the lower... This is the lower quarterfinals. We'd have to win that match, which would be against pretty similar ranked players, maybe A rank instead of X rank, but pretty similar ranked players. There is no guarantee we make it through the top 32. So while we are the 16th seed, seeding means we should do well. Reminder, seeding this event is not based on previous events. This is the first time we've had a 2v2 open. Seeding here is basically almost entirely brought on by your in-game rank. And while 2s is definitely one of the best game modes to do it because everybody at this really high rank level plays 2s, it's not perfect. It's not fully accurate. And it means that there's a good bit of kind of questions up in the air of where people should be, where they should be placed. Typically, the seeding is going to be pretty somewhat accurate, but it's not going to be as accurate as it is for 3s, where you have points and you have past results to go off of. They're usually pretty good at telling you where teams should be placed. For us here, at least, that means there are no guarantees. There are no guarantees we're going to make it through, so we got to play well to get our spots. So we're moments away. Hopefully all of you in chat are enjoying yourselves. If you want to see the bracket, it's exclamation point bracket. Nice. Exclamation point bracket in chat. to join along. And we'll be here covering everything tonight. Again, best of 5s today instead of best of 3s, so much longer matchups, and again, much tougher matchups as well. I know, again, this is the first time we've had a 2v2 open in Rocket League, so this is going to be huge for a whole lot of people because, hey, you get to play the game mode that, for most players at this rank level, at this really high rank level, this is the mode that they're actually most comfortable with. This is the mode that basically all these players will play. They play, typically this is the mode that they rate each other based off of as well, is 2s, albeit 6-mans is based on 3s, but in-game rank, it's based on 2s, because that's the mode that these players play by far the most often. And there's a reason why that they do that. It's because overall, this game mode's really good at, well, it gives you a lot more space, so it really is good at rating your individual level. And that's important, obviously. As we should be getting invited to the party in just a moment here. Oh, what's happening? I hear something back there. Apologies, I forgot my window. My window was left open, and I'm... That's bad timing. My window was left open. My apologies for that, everybody. Okay, we'll take a look at the bracket while we're waiting there. But yeah, for all of you who are wondering, well, I'm actually kind of paying attention to my window there, because it hasn't... It's not like it's the first time it's been windy by my window. The reason why is because, actually, as here's some of our matches, some of them are getting underway. The reason why is because I'm actually under severe thunderstorm warning. So... Fingers crossed, I don't run, my power doesn't run out. My power doesn't cut on me here. So fingers crossed, I don't lose power today and we stay streaming. If it does, you'll know, because my stream's going to cut off with it. So my hope is we don't have that happen. No power loss, we're good to go. This is not the, I've had it happen to me before where the power's gone out. I'm just hoping we don't see that. So that's all. Now though, we're fine. Stream's still running, internet's still good. Matches have begun. Our match hasn't begun. I'm sure give it a moment or two, we're going to be in the forfeit timer. Now, I do know that Knightsha and Lev are in game. So our team is in game. Knight's Castle are here. Sorry, King's Castle is here. Not Knight's Castle. Knight's Castle would have been a good name too for this. King's Castle is here, but we are waiting. Again, we're playing against the employees first. That's a B-rank team, Plude and Nova. If it's the Nova RL that I'm thinking of, and I'm almost certain it is, Nova I'm most comfortable, that's the Nova I've seen the most, that is a B-rank player. So, this is a B-rank team. I know Plude's B-rank, so that would make sense to me. Oh, we got the invite. This tells me I think we're just about ready to get things going here. Yep, we've got the check-in confirmed, so we are just about to go into our best of 5. Now, reminder, we are the favorites in this matchup. We're going to be the favorites for every matchup today in the upper bracket. Meaning, again, in theory, we should not lose any of our matches today in the upper bracket. We'll wait and see about that as well. We've got some interesting team names in the lobby. Eternal Wolves and Eternal Ronin. I don't know why it says that. Don't know why it says Eternal Wolves and Eternal Ronin in the in-game chat. In the in-game, those are the team names listed in-game. I don't know why that's the case, but I don't mind showing you. Because why not? It's kind of funny. We wait for the other players to show up. There you go. Yeah, it says Eternal Rose and Eternal Ronin. I didn't make this lobby, so I don't know where those team names came from. Because, I mean, I know an Eternal Esports. It's an amateur organization. These aren't my team names, though. Anyways, we're moments away from our best of 5 here. We're not the only people alive. There's a lot of people alive, as there is Plude and Nova. Again, we'll get our best of 5 going in literally less than a minute here, so apologies for that delay, but we are just about ready to start. Mind that today is all best of 5, so instead of yesterday where it was 3 wins and you're through, instead of where it was 2 wins and you're through, it's now 3 wins and you're through. And reminder, it's double elimination meaning if you lose, we're not out. We still got the lower bracket. Of course, though, if you lose again, that's where the pressure is. And for the King's Castle, tonight's a whole lot tougher. You're not going to see them nearly as relaxed as they were yesterday, and they better not be, because everybody today, again, anyone I think B ranking up is going to be a threat to this team. I don't think teams below A rank are going to beat us. But I do think any team B rank and up, which would include employees, have a chance to threaten us here and really make us work for it. So we had a B rank team yesterday. That match, it ended 2-0. It was a good performance, but of course, again, today things get tougher here as employees, again, on the other side will be Plued and Nova. Was an overcommit there from Lev. Will be an open net the other way. The shot from Plued, not good enough. King's Castle, they got to be careful that they do not get bumped out of the way here, because unlike teams yesterday who were, I think, a lot more respectful, these teams are not going to be nearly the same. They're going to take a lot more confidence in what they're doing, meaning that you're not going to earn respect against them unless you really prove it. King's Castle, at least, one of the things that they definitely had an issue with yesterday that I noticed was a problem was just how willing they are to commit to plays that they probably shouldn't be. We saw Lev already this game do one of those challenges and nearly get caught for it. Definitely a risk you don't want to be taking lightly here, as he'll be Plued to the side. Out of the way. He'll go pass to Nightya as Lev wasn't really there. And that's not a great challenge either. He'll have to cut back in and keep the pressure going. Employees playing a rather stagnant game. They're not trying to rush anything. They're up by a goal. I think they're more than happy to play a similar game to the King's Castle, which is get up and sort of trust your defense into what it can do. Bit of an overcommit there from Lev. Will be Nightya again. And Lev on that bump will be one to beat now in Nova! And Nightya gets it done! Well, he gets the job going here. Lev removes Plued, but it was really Nova that was always going to be the big threat on this play. The thing, though, is removing Plued on that play does give a lot of room, because in that position, if you're Nova, you cannot challenge until late, because you're on the back wall. If he's on the ground, he's challenging early on that play. He's letting Plued come in from behind. Is this going to be a 2-1 lead? Off the kickoff? No, it won't be. Pinched aside. But again, that play gets rid of the first attacker, meaning that it's one-on-one, and as I mentioned yesterday, King's Castle, these guys, very good one-on-one players, and they are more than happy to play that game mode against anyone here today. There are some very good ones players today. King's Castle will feel comfortable against anyone, considering just how good they both are. I would not be surprised if we see them make long runs in the upcoming 1v1 Open for North America. As a bit of an awkward play. That somehow is going to go in. I don't know how that goes in. Lev almost botched it. Like, that was real close to being a goal the other way there. Lev just got there in time against Nova and Plued, who's kind of loitering upfield. That's not the smart move there. That's hello in chat. Hello, Leo. Leo KDZN. Are you doing well? Thank you so much for joining us here. This is King's Castle, RLCS 2026. Our first match today against employees, and this is a match that, in theory, should not be a hard one for us. It's going to be tougher. Every match today is going to be one we have to earn. But the match is going to get tougher from here. Again, the match after this is B+ rank players, and after that is X rank players. So, we're getting to the point where you are going to need to really prove yourself. Your King's Castle haven't really done that so far. I mean, they haven't had to, but they definitely will need to prove themselves soon, because it's not going to be an easy day, and tomorrow's not going to be any easier. Again, today is about the day of beating teams below you in seeding. Tomorrow is about the day of beating the teams around you in seeding. And of course, if we were to make it to day 4, which would be the top 16, it's about beating the teams ahead of us in seeding. So I always keep mentioning that because it's a great way to talk about kind of what each day is kind of has ahead of us here. Today is the day where we play against the teams that are like lower seeded than us, just lower seeded than us. And tomorrow's the day where we play against teams very similar seeding us. Oh my Lev! Oh! My goodness! Flip resets for Lev! And King's Castle continue! This is the scary part of this team. They are 1v1 type players. They can do this. They have the room to do it. In threes, we so often see Lev take a more defensive positioning because he doesn't have the space. In twos, though, he's got all the room he wants. Up by 1 now. Double flip reset, double tap for Lev. The King's Castle will keep the play moving, although it's only up by 1. And employees playing much more aggressively now. As Lev plays it aside to Nightya, and someone in chat is asking me, when do I cast the Major? Not yet. Is all I'll say. Appreciate the compliment, though. I guess technically I'm casting a World Championship qualifier, if you will. Because the winner of this goes to the World Championship, so I guess technically I'm casting the World Championship. If you want to think of it that way. As it's going to be... Oh, it's off the button. Man, Nightya cannot hit the net today. He's hit the post about 4 times this game, and now Lev's overcommit. Blue to find the goal. Lev's going to be disappointed that he let that one through so easily, but really Nightya is going to be even more disappointed. He has had 4 different chances that have hit the post. This is a game where it stayed tied because King's Castle, and specifically Nitro, can't score, and 2 of those post-its right off the kickoff with open nets, so he's going to feel really disappointed about that. He has had so many opportunities. The benefit is it's a best of 5, meaning you got more time to warm up, more time to get into it. There's not nearly as much stress, at least initially, if you're the King's Castle, but you definitely don't want to be hitting the post consistently today, as that's a great move from Lev. Will not be in there initially as Nova clears it aside. Nitro, very low boost. Gotta be careful when he goes for this. Real easy follow-up challenge. But he's gonna force the clear from Nova. That's a great jump from Lev. He's had 2 of the 3 goals this game. Reset. Pinched off the back wall. Nitro, surely it is. It's stopped by Nova, who comes out strong. 1 minute left in this game, and Nitro's gonna take it away. Big breakdown there for the employees. It won't cost them initially, as Lev takes even more boost. 1-on-1 with Plude. He plays it out. Nitro is already up, but Nova gets in the way. Lev goes back, and he's got to be careful he doesn't get demoed on this effort. That is an awkward-looking pop. He's going to have to work all on his own. He's really not in a good spot either. Nitro on nothing. Lev's going to play for time. About 30 seconds left in regulation. Overtime looming, and if you're the King's Castle, not the kind of series you want to be trying to play close in. Demo! Still no aggression here, as Nitro all the way back. I can understand his nerves, but he's got to be willing to push up now, because he's stuck 1-on-1. Shot it. Not made. Net is open if Lev's got it. He'll play it up. It is in. A mistake for the employees. And King's Castle, with 14 seconds left, may have just taken game 1 right there. Oh, it's a fake kickoff here. King's Castle now needs to hold on. The defense, which has been their strong suit, needs to hold on for a little bit longer. Nitro by Nova. Time running out. He can let this hit the ground. He will not keep playing. This is game 1 for the King's Castle. Definitely was nervous there because of how many shots they had. They had 12 shots to 3 this game. In terms of shooting, they've got everything working. In terms of accuracy, 1 goal for 8 shots for Nitro. 4 different shots this game hit the post. Now, I know he's not going to think that's going to be a consistent factor for him, but that's a concern. You definitely don't want to keep hitting it. I really think this game could have been out of hand, though, I almost said Eternal Wolves. That's the team name that's in lobby. For employees here, had Nitro hit a couple of his shots off the kickoff here, had he got a couple of other plays. The only other concern I saw from them is how willing Lev is to commit and how far back Nitro's sitting. Whenever Lev's first and Nitro's second, which is most of the time, Lev's sometimes often just going to commit for things, even if he shouldn't be, and Nitro's not really there to support him, so I have to imagine that, the question I have, obviously, would be, going into game 2, is if Nitro's willing to push up a little higher with Lev. Oh, there we go. Seems okay. Oh no, the overlay's broken. Oh, that's perfect. Thanks, guys. There we go. We'll correct the overlay there real quick. And we'll go into game 2 momentarily. Wind is strong back there, my goodness. I don't know if any of you can hear it. It is really windy out there, so I'm hoping I don't lose my power today. Because this would be a terrible event to lose my power in. Anyways, we'll go to game 2. So far, so good. No technical issues. And here we go, game 2, King's Castle, to take match point in this best of 5. Reminder, unlike yesterday, this is not to win the series. This is just to take match points. While the King's Castle looked really good in game 1, things can change. It was a lot closer than they would have wanted it to be. And for the employees, now 2 games in a row have taken one off the kickoff. Immediately, too. Well, for now, we'll see what the King's Castle have. Lev has had a pretty exceptional performance in game 1. He's going to look to keep it going. Unable to complete the dunk, but this does set up Nitro for a ceiling pinch. That's a tough read for Plude. And in goes Lev. Not enough on it. Nova will play to the side, and Nitro and Lev will have to go back to the drawing board, although I do like what I'm seeing from Lev. He has definitely shown a pretty good job so far today of being that first aggressor and pulling players out of position. Nitro's not been able to really complete a lot of his shots. Lev's done a great job at just setting him up here. Some of these shots are going to go in for Nitya, even if the shooting actually isn't great, if Lev keeps doing what he's doing right now. And the difference, of course, is whenever Nitya's this far back, things start to get a little bit more dicey because he's not fully confident in Lev. And to be fair, there are situations where I think Lev shouldn't be challenging, and he does anyways. And the King's Castle being able to mitigate those risks is a demo there on Lev. Nitya's going to be all alone, and he will need to play that way to the sidewall. He's got Lev back, and with a full tank of boost too. Nitya's going to take this himself though. Flip reset, double flip reset, trying to get rid of Nova. Oh, it's going to go in the net! Nova just missed it. Well, that is unfortunate for Nova because this isn't a hard save for him, and he knows it too. He just missed it. He was so worried about the bump. He wasn't thinking about that save initially, and well, it comes back to hurt him in the worst of ways. Tied game here. And while Nitya was trying to find a bit of a better shot, he won't mind, it goes in. Today's a day where you're not really looking for the pretty shots, you're looking for the shots that work, as that's a great shot for Nova. And a lead back to the employees, so for King's Castle, the troubles continue for them. Yeah, very low boost for Lev, and he just does not get up to it in time. As I think the wind is gone, by the way. I was checking. It's eerily quiet in this room. I think the wind is gone, so hopefully that means that the power outage threat is also gone with it. Which means I'm still here, guys! We've survived. We've survived the possible power outage. There's a ton of demos from Lev. He's got rid of both players, and Nitya's got all this open room. Great save from Plude as Nitya, again, not really willing to push up too aggressively. Now he's willing to, but at this point it's far too late. He'll go back. Straight shot. Plude is there. So far for the King's Castle. Not getting close enough to the net to really be threatening, but an overcommit from Nova, and Lev sees it. Ordinarily for the employees in their, usual rank levels, I don't think this is a bad decision. But at an X rank level, when you're talking about players like Nitya and Lev, they can score from there, and pretty consistently employees were trying that push out. And I think he was expecting a challenge too. At SSL, that's a risk to take to do that. Oftentimes it works because they're trying to play up the sidewall, go for a solo play, or they won't get a perfect touch. But that was a really well-placed shot from Lev, and again, not something that you'll see from everybody at SSL. Well, it was a fake from Lev. He's actually got a great-looking effort here. That's gonna roll in! Well, it was a sloppy-looking goal, but I think often in ones you look at the pretty stuff and you think that's what you get there in ones. It's not. These are the 1v1 type plays that you'll so often see. I'm a ones main. I used to be a ones main. I still play a lot of 1v1s. That's more of what you expect from 1v1 type plays, is stuff like that. It's not very pretty, and that's kind of why it's so beautiful in a way, is perfect fake kickoff, and Lev's gonna take it and get his hat trick. 3 or 4 goals and a big demo from Lev. I mean, that's what makes the goal happen there, is Lev. That fake kickoff, so risky, but we did see someone do it yesterday against King's Castle to success. Of course, King's Castle proving they also can do it, and really anybody at this rank level. I would expect most teams at this rank level to be able to do this, because it's something that is a threat you really want to have. That's a big open net, a big whiff from Lev, who really overthought this one. He was looking to try to get the quick change on that transition. Really, in this position, though, he doesn't need to go to the back wall. He can wait under it. Because SSLs so often want to play really, really fast, want to pick up the pace. That's not really what you... That does mean you're going to be more likely to make mistakes like that. And in a game this close, still half the game to go. I mean, those kind of mistakes can add up. There's still, again, a little over 2 minutes to go, almost 2.5 minutes to go in this game. So, the King's Castle, there is no safety net here for them in Game 2. As Lev will head back and take it up the back wall. Reminder that, unlike yesterday, there's really no guarantees of King's Castle making it through to day 3 here. They've got to earn that spot. They've got to earn their spot from here on out. They may be the 16th seed, and as I said, you can kind of, throughout any seeding within the top 48, how good these teams are. Now, employees are not in the top 48 in seeding, but that last match we're going to have definitely is. That's a great move from Lev, and he's going to keep on scoring. Lev's been on fire so far. He's had a great series. And this game is 4 goals on 8 shots. He's looked quite good. I mean, for King's Castle, albeit, while Nightja has had a disappointing start, Lev has had an exceptional start. He has had a very good... He's playing a very good job as that first aggressor. He showed that he can do it yesterday, and it's something that I knew that he could do. I mean, if you've ever seen Lev, you know he can play that kind of role on any team, but in Freeze, at least, he doesn't really play that way. He will do it. Typically, you don't see him do it. That's not what I think he's good at in Threes. In Twos, though, when you've got all this space, that's where that kind of game... Whereas, you know, first man kind of mechanical aggressive game plan really works, because you've got all this space, you've got less challenges, you've got much more open room. That's going to work for you. As that's a great looking play there for King's Castle, and they're running away with this game now after what was a 1-goal difference moments ago. It is now back to a 3-goal difference. The King's Castle are more than happy to keep doing what they're doing right now, and that is a dominant, consistent game. It feels like it's a tough position here for the employees because they have not been playing badly this series. Every single game they started off really promising, but they have not been able to end it that way. And King's Castle, ultimately as a mechanical team, just that good. They are good. They're going to be good enough that, again, there's a reason why I think there's no team under any rank that is ever going to beat them here. Of course, would only be the first of what would be 3 wins today that you would need in the upper bracket, as, oh, got a great 50 there. Employees aren't out of this thing just yet. They still have 36 seconds to go, but they're going to need to work quickly. If Fluid wins that challenge on Lev, he gets right under him. But, I would definitely be more worried if I was the employees, because time's not on your side at this point. There's Plude again. Oh, he's got all this room. Nightja's gonna cut across. Lev almost getting bumped while he's at it. A boost here for the employees as King's Castle will take everything. Nova. Unable to get the flip reset. We'll be seeing it cleared right back to Plude. Lev. I would like to see him challenge here. He's got Nightja right behind him. And look at this room for the King's Castle. Nightja. 8-second touch, just gonna let the time tick away. No chance of recovery here if you're the employees. And that means for the King's Castle now in their first match of the day, they have just taken triple match points. One more win, and they're into the winners' quarterfinals of the upper brackets. They would be 2 wins away from qualifying to the top 32. Of course, again, we'll be here all weekend. As long as this King's Castle side stays around, we're gonna keep watching them. Of course, though, the threat of the employees is still very much there. As I just noticed my overlay did not update. My apologies. There we go. Updated it for you. Forgot it's manual because of the glitch after game 1. We'll go into game 3 here. I must be asking the question of what can the employees do to recover. I don't see anything just yet from them. We'll wait and see, though. We'll wait and watch. But King's Castle, they're playing their game as they want to. And as long as they keep playing their game, as long as Lev keeps playing the way he's playing, not only is this series going to be great for them, next series should be a good one as well. Again, next series would be against B+ ranked players. It would be Tufio's team, actually. Tufio and Pyrix, which are B+ ranked players. A little higher ranked than this one, but again, still players I think that if they're playing like they are right now, they should be able to handle just fine. There's a couple pumps there from Nightja. He's got rid of one of the players. The one back now is Plude as Nova. He's going to rotate him behind. As, oh, a tough place for Nova. Nearly gave one up there to Nightja, and Lev's got to go back. It's a heavy touch for Nova. That one goes right by Lev. This is a shot for Plude. I'm surprised Lev doesn't go for that. He had put himself in all sorts of bad positions there. Not only does this first touch get right by him, but... And Lev doesn't commit. He really needs to commit on that play. It's right in front of his net. I mean, you're giving them a free shot, and I think this is the 3rd game in a row now employees have scored first. The goals keep coming early for employees. They just aren't able to end the game the same way they start them. King's Castle have had some issues defensively. We expect a lot more goals in this game mode, of course, as Nightja unable to fully get by Nova, as he's going to get the bump on him to remove the threats. Here goes Lev, not on target. I wouldn't have gone in anyways. Plude had that front post covered. As he'll go up with it. Nightja... Oh, he missed it! And Plude's going to have another one here. Nightja was getting bumped in the backfield, but he had time to make this save. And Lev fully trusted in him, too. He didn't commit to this. Yeah, Lev never even jumped. We were fully expecting it to be an easy clear. He even got up on the back wall to get away from him. Missed by Nightja and employees with a 2-goal lead now. And just about a minute gone by already in Game 3 now. For King's Castle, of course, they do have match points, so this is not a position where they can lose this series if they lose this game, but, I mean, you don't really want to drop a game here. They haven't dropped the game all tournament so far, and I think they'd be more than happy to keep it that way as a bit of a miss there. Should be another open net, and it will be. Nightja too slow, and King's Castle really overthinking things here. That pass far too obvious and far too slow. If you're going to make an infield pass, in threes you can do it slowly because you've got a guy behind you defending. In twos, you don't have that. And meaning, if you're going to make that infield pass, either the other team's going to have no boost to challenge, or you need to make it fast because they're going to catch up to you and intercept it. And that was too slow from Lev to Nightja. And that was an easy read for employees to make. And King's Castle now down 3 goals in, well, not a must-win game, but a game that you would really be disappointed to see them lose. And again, considering the kind of opponents we have later, I want to drop a game to a roster like the employees. Although that is always a possibility. And I said it, they're going to be a threat, so it's definitely a possibility. Not great clear from Lev, goes right to Blood, but he does commit for this, and he does not have a good recovery either. Nightja's going to have all this space. He does get by Nova, albeit just barely. That play is up the back wall, and Lev's going to be demoed. King's Castle now a lot more desperate. There's only half the game left. Oh, it's a double commit there. That one not so bad because not only going to get back, but also it's a play where there's no real exactly a great risk of a follow-up. As here goes Lev again. He will score from here. Too much space given. Employees were waiting. There was a very far rotation here from Blood. I mean, Lev's got all this room to do whatever he wants with it, and Blood needs Nova to cut in earlier to take that bump away from him, but simply put, they're not on the same page. It's one of those things where I don't know who's at fault. I would have to look back at it again and tell you for certain, but what I can say is Lev's going to take all that room. He has no problem going in that position as Lev's going to leave the ball now. I don't know if Nightja was necessarily ready for that, but he'll wait for Nova. Up the back wall, he knows the boost isn't going to spawn for him, and here goes Lev. Up to Nightja, they pulled out Nova. Now they got to find a way to get rid of Blood. Nova again. And Nightja just trying to slow it down here. In need of 2 goals in regulation. It won't come from this play. Lev is back on defense. He's got to be careful he doesn't get bumped. As again, in goes Blood, and employees really pushing some of these challenges. That is not a good touch from Lev. He does get the dunk though. We are sometimes seeing the employees. I mean, they're more willing to challenge aggressively here at this point because they're up in the lead, because they know it can favor them, as that almost goes in past Nova. He got real lucky. He read it perfectly. He read it at least well enough to know that it was not going to go in, but that was risky. Builds up player for Nightja. He doesn't get that wave dash, so he's going to be in a tough spot here. Real awkward commit for the King's Castle. As they'll pinch it away, it's Nightja with space. Not a lot of time left now for the King's Castle. Nightja needs this. He'll take it. 1-on-2. Nightja brings it through, and it's the employees now under a real threat here. One more goal needed for King's Castle, and this game will be even. Missed there, though, by Nightja. Nova's got all this room. Challenge taken by Lev. Second touch as well. That's going to go in. It is. Lev got bumped into it. And the King's Castle have tied this game from 3 goals down. Unlike in 3v3 where the comebacks are the rarity, in 2v2 you should expect it more often. One minute to go. King's Castle. If they can take one more, they can win this series. Lev. Blood with boost. Now he leaves it for Nova. And Nova, oh, he does not look comfortable there. He's waiting for the challenge. In it goes. What a great move from Nightja. And he's all alone here. Blood's up for it. Lev doesn't take the boost. He will not be able to get an easy shot on this play. In fact, he won't get much of a shot. Trying to go for the pogo there will be unsuccessful, but he does bump out one. Ooh, Nightja didn't like that touch. Lev will take it away. Lots of saves so far this game for the King's Castle. It was a heavy clear for Lev. I can definitely feel like they're getting a bit more nervous here. Employees do have them where they want them. Lev will clear. Low boost here for Nitya. And he's got to play for time. He does have Lev. And he does have this touch. It's not very good. It's in front. Oh boy. Lev's actually probably going to keep this up for a little longer. He can make offense from there. Dribble he goes. Flip reset as well. It's Lev by himself. It's Nitya to end it. It's Nova with the block. And it's overtime in Game 3. One more goal for King's Castle and they're through to the next round of the upper bracket. One goal against. We've got a continuation of the series. Lev kept away by Nova. Demo by Plude. This is a tough spot to be if you're the King's Castle. As Nova taken away by Nitya. Lev just needs one good play, and the King's Castle haven't had a lot to show for an offense. The last minute or so, they've been spending a lot of that time on their own half of the field. Double commit here for the employees means it's going to be very tough for them to make offense. Not going to help them either with that touch. Was a whiff from Lev, actually. Might have been called off by Nitya instead, as he'll get by Nova. Right at Plude, though. Nitya, he's going to make it a little more awkward. Lev taking his time. He didn't like the initial look of that challenge. And look at this one, employees. Low boost here for Nova. He's got to go eventually, because Nitya can see that he doesn't have boost. He'll cut across as well. Still not a lot of boost for Nova. This is a real tough spot to be. Does get there just in time. Boost will spawn for Plude. As Lev gets by him. Now Nova, the last one back. It's 2-on-1. Oh, and Lev, he took far too long. He had options there. Yeah, Nitya waiting across. He needs to move a little bit faster than that, as Nitya now not getting a good-looking play at that. It's a miss for Plude. Nova's the last one back. I would have liked to see a shot there from Lev. Nova didn't have boost. I have to imagine left body had something in the tank. Employees are really struggling now. It's Nitya on one. Plude's got some boost. He has had to do a lot defensively this game so far as it's gone backwards here. Awkward bounce. Nitya has it. Lev will help him off the corner. He can get that touch too, and Nova knows this. He'll jump. As Lev's still trying to get it. He almost got that touch. That could have gone into his own net. As here goes Nitya one-on-one. Good clear for Plude. Nova there as well. Ooh, Lev didn't get around him here, and this is going to be room for the employees. Good shoot from here. 2 minutes plus of overtime so far. Into that next round. Hanging in the balance for the employees. It's shot on. It's just wide by Nova. Another. We'll have to count the saves after this game with how many we have seen from these sides. As Plude to Nova. Double commit for King's Castle. Nitya will get to this one. Lev can't go. Surely it's in. It is. No boost for the King's Castle. Nitya must have called Lev off on that play, because Lev definitely had the better looking touch on it. Still, they aren't fully on the same page, and employees do take a game here. Definitely a deserved win from them with the way they were playing. King's Castle just could not get things going. And they had a lot of shots, but the employees had a whole lot more. Saves, 9 and 7, so 16 saves total, and if you're a King's Castle, you're going to be pretty disappointed with that game. You started off so slowly that this was sort of expected, to say the very least. We did get confirmation, by the way, that Pyrix and Tufio did win their match. They would be the next team to play against in the upper bracket, in the upper quarterfinals. Or the winners quarterfinals, as is listed here on start.gg. Thank you, mate, Oscar. Thank you so much for joining us here for RLCS 2v2 North America Open. We are the team stream for King's Castle. That is Nitya and Lev. Employees did just take the last game in an overtime. King's Castle, though, not looking to let that happen again. The next match would be against Tufio and Pyrix. Of course, though, still need one more win. There is this series could just end the other way. And again, as I said, anybody today can be a threat, so King's Castle, while losing a game may not be the worst thing ever. Of course, you don't want to lose a game to a team like this. Let's put into perspective just how difficult this 2v2 mode can be, and how volatile it can be. A lot of these players know each other. I think there's more sweeps in 2s than there is in 3s, but still, you gotta be able to cover, and King's Castle's doing that perfectly right now. 2 goals already. I mean, we saw boys get 3 goals early last game, in like the first 2 minutes. King's Castle looking to do the same thing here, and if they can get a 3-goal lead early, well, there's no guarantees, obviously. We just saw King's Castle almost come back last game. It's possible. It is very, very possible. But again, no guarantees. We're going to come down to being able to challenge these employees' team a little further away from the net. King's Castle sort of sitting a bit far into their net here. That's definitely something that I've noticed from them. Again, that they're a defensive team. They like to make saves. They're sitting quite far into their net here. Employees, their initial offense is going to be right in front of you, but as you get lower and lower boost totals, they're actually going to shift further away. I've noticed that they've been doing that. They did it last game. That's how they got their goal. They do shift further and further away once they recognize that you're really stuck in defense, and so that's going to be a good play, good save from Lev. But again, you're going to see them shift back after they recognize that you're low on boost, so it is something to definitely pay attention to. I'm surprised Lev isn't going early on this. He will get the 50-50 challenge and play it up to Nightsha. It's actually a smart play from Lev. This Blood will get to the ball here. Lev does go in for this, and Nightsha's going to have to go back to defense. No chance here to make offense. As he'll not get the pinch. It does fall for Lev, so continuation here of the offense is a flip reset. Dunk from Lev. Not in. Still not in. Still not in, and now it is. 3-0. For the King's Castle, right at the 2-minute mark, or I should say the 3-minute mark, really. At least so far, the journey continues. Again, the comeback is definitely possible. I mean, we saw a 3-goal comeback last game, so it's still possible. King's Castle aren't going to take this for granted. They are still hungry for more, albeit one of the things that they did do well yesterday is that even though they maybe started off a bit slow yesterday, by the end of matches, they typically started to run away with things. By the end of the series, if they're confident. Obviously, if they are in the lead already. So, one thing they did really well yesterday was that, they started the series off a bit slow, but as the series got on, they got far more comfortable and they got far more in control of things. And a team that's in control of things that's a beautiful play from, oh my goodness, beautiful play from Lev. A team that's in control of things just does this, clearly. Oh my goodness, Lev, that is beautiful. Right up the sidewall to him. It's a self-pass into a flip reset. We haven't seen that from Lev all tournament just yet, but I feel like I've seen that from Lev in 3v3s. And in 2v2, he's got all this space. Might be able to do that a lot more often here, as he didn't like that challenge on Nova. He'll keep chasing him, though. Another flip reset for the employees. Will sneak by Nightsha. Put away. Nova. Challenged by Lev, and it'll be 2 minutes to go here as it's Nightsha. And the employees looking to chase that down. Your King's Castle. Actually, boost becoming a bit of a problem for them here. If you're King's Castle, you need boost. Actually, more than anything else right now. As only got a little headlock here. I don't know what on earth they're doing over there. Early as Nova has decided that this game is not worth playing for anymore. Oh, you know what? Let's... Come on, really? These guys are... This official RLCS? Yes, it is. This is RLCS. This is the North American Open, as... We're somehow in a 1v1 here. Plute's gonna win that 1v1 and get the first goal for the game for employees. I'm very disappointed with you, Lev. If any of you saw what Lev's doing back there, I'm sorry. This is RLCS. I promise you this is the biggest tournament of the year, and yet... I mean, this is a World Championship qualifier. I promise you this is like one of the biggest tournaments of the year, and yet... This is what you get from people. But yeah, it is official. Yeah, this is official RLCS coverage. Of course, we're still well early in the tournament. This is like around top 192 level. Tomorrow is top 32. Then it would be, if we were to go to then it would be top 16, which would be next Friday. So about a week from now, if you will, would be top 16. So I know a lot of you kind of focus on the top 8, which is like basically literally a week from now, the Saturday, a week from now. Well, we're far away from that, but this stream's covering the run for the King's Castle. And Nightshine Lev, the number 16 seed in this tournament. Again, we're still far away from top 32. That's not something that they're going to be thinking about right now. It's going to win 2 more rounds. That last one of the night is going to be real interesting, by the way. So stick around for that, by the way. The third match of the day. Expected to be a match against Flitz and Andy. And I've seen both those players. That is a solid team, definitely a team I would not be surprised to see contend for the top 16. I think in a similar position that we're in, as this should be a goal for Nightshine. Oh, it's not. He's hit the crossbar. But again, oh, he's gonna... Lev's gonna score this one, though. The people that play in the majors. Yes! The people that play in the majors. I know what you're talking about, Sniper. Yes, the people that play in the major, those players, they're in this tournament, too. They're also playing today. Because today's the 2v2 open, because, you know, usually you're used to 3v3, there's no Inspire. There are no auto-qualifications for top 32, meaning everybody that wants to play in the World Championship, which, whenever this qualifies for the World Championship, they're all playing in every day of the competition. So yes, even the very best teams in the world are playing today. Of course, we're not going to see any of them, but I know Space Station's in our group. So we want to talk about a team that made a major. Space Station is actually in our group. We are not expected to play against them today. But they're in our group, just as like a reference. They made a pretty good run last time, and I think they're top 12. But that'll end this match, by the way, 3-1 for King's Castle. 6-1, by the way, in Game 4. Dominant from them. Their first game lost, by the way, of the tournament. Here against Employees. Came down to a very long overtime, but our next match is already confirmed. We're going to be playing against Pyrix on a boat, and it's Tuff. Again, that's Pyrix and Tuff. Well, people either call him Tuff or Tuff. I think he tells me he doesn't care. I always call him Tuff, but it doesn't matter. Again, that will be our next match in just a little bit here. And that'll be the upper quarterfinals. In fact, we'll show you what the bracket looks like right now, as we aren't going to go on to very long of a break, if any. But again, there's our bracket. As you can see, Space Station's on the other side of the bracket as well, so they're in our group as well. Again, we're not expected to play against them. As long as we keep winning, we're never going to play against them until day 3, obviously, which would be tomorrow. If we do make day 3, which we should make day 3, we actually are seeded to make day 4. We're seed number 16, so we're expected to make day 4, but day 3 we're definitely supposed to make day 3. We should be making day 3. That would be tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, so it would be about the same time as today. Our match actually hasn't fully updated just yet. It will be in just a moment. But we'll wait a little bit longer here, but again, this is what our bracket looks like so far. And our next match will be against Pyrix and Tuff. Tuff, who used to be on NTX Esports. He might still be on NTX Esports, I don't know. I know they have a different team this tournament, though, which is Dap, and who's on that team actually for NTX? I know Dap's on that team. Who is it? Fade and Dap. That's who's on that team. Fade and Dap. So we're gonna go to, I think, a quick break, like a 3-minute break. We'll be back with the next match. I'm gonna give them some time to report things, and once everything is set, we'll be good to go. But our upper bracket run continues in the upper quarterfinals, taking on Pyrix and Tuff. Welcome back to RLCS 2026 2v2 North America Open. Apologies for that slight delay. I actually went to the bathroom. We were gone. But we also were waiting for that match, for our match to be reported. It has, I believe, now been fully reported, meaning our match, yes, it has been fully reported. So that means our next match is now confirmed to take on Pyrix and Tufio. It has not been fully confirmed on this bracket. Perfect. It has been. Just give me a moment. There you go. So it has been. So our next round is just about to begin. These are the matches that we have. Of course, reminder, double elimination. So you're not out if you lose this, but this is a tougher matchup now. It is Pyrix and Tufio, meaning B+ rank players. So they're a little bit better than the players that we just saw. They're a little bit better. They're a little bit tougher. They're going to be a little bit more difficult to handle, and I would not be surprised if this series takes a little bit longer to get through. But another match that we're supposed to win. Again, I don't think we lose to players below A rank. Realistically, we shouldn't be, at least. I don't think we're going to. Because we'll have to wait and see. For now, we wait for confirmation on when this match is going to exactly begin, but it should be beginning in like any minute. Again, this will be against Pyrix and Tufio, another best of 5 series. Alright, we're in the lobby, so it means our match is just about to begin here. Again, reminder, the best of 5s continue. Loser's not out, winner does move on. Again, reminder that the big match that I'm looking at is that last one, which would be against Deadlock, who are currently playing against 86. Deadlock should win that match. That is Andy and Flitz. That would be an X-rank team, and a good one too. So, better make sure we play our game well here. As interesting name choices here from Pyrix. I don't know who's who in this lobby. Pyrix and Tufio have gone by some unique usernames. Naf and Draknir. Probably like Nath and Draknir. I don't know who these guys are. Anyways, that's Pyrix and Tufio, I promise. That's who's listed on that roster. It's Pyrix and Tufio. They're on the blue. For Pyrix on a boat, and it's Tufio. Yeah, I don't know. But I don't know who's who on that roster. I'll have to ask eventually here. For now, they do get the first goal. I don't know what it is with us. We keep giving up these first goals. This is, of course, the winners' quarterfinals. I forgot to update my overlay. Oh, I always forget to do that. There you go. We're ready, and we're going, and that is, again, goal 1 of this second series of the day. Hopefully second of 3. Hopefully we go through 3 matches. We don't need to play an extra one. Again, reminder that that third match, unlike some events that we've seen, where just making it means you get guaranteed top 32, here it does not. Because there's no auto-qualified teams, you must win that match to make top 32. You actually have to play, we play a couple rounds less. Through lowers. But you do have to play a few rounds more in uppers. In 3v3, it's actually easier to make it through uppers because there's a lot less rounds, because you'll need to win twice. Through lowers, it's a whole lot tougher because you gotta win like a bunch of rounds to get there. So, avoiding lower bracket for as long as possible will be of ideal. And of course, if you can go through, as that's gonna be a goal there for... Again, I don't know who is who. I wish I could tell you. But, again, avoiding lowers is the... Oh, Lev went for boost. No wonder that's going to go in. But, again, reminder that avoiding lowers is the best thing you could do here. But also just, like... seeding. The more you stay in the upper bracket, the better your seeding's going to be. The nice thing is we've got decent seeding, meaning in theory we should get some better matchups. Our seeding's been somewhat nice to us this event. Again, 16 seeds, pretty kind. Doing that, I think anyone within the top 48 could probably be seeded just about anywhere. But for now, early start for Tufio and for Pyrix. And really, if you're King's Castle, if you can start off well, that puts so much confidence in you as well. Again, I think this is a team that does better as the series goes on, meaning that these first 1 or 2 games are going to be real crucial for them to make sure that they at least win one of them, and hopefully both of them. Because as they get better, they're going to be in a much... As they get better, they're going to have a lot more leeway, if you would. They have a lot more of a margin of error that they can afford. And that you don't want to be wasting early in this series, as that should be an easy clear. Lifted off the back wall by Nightja. Lev unable to jump forward, and one of the things that Pyrix and Tufio have done so well so far this series is that they've been able to really suffocate the King's Castle's offense. No one's really been able to do that against them, but they have, and I curse them. I mean, it's a favorable curse. I want King's Castle to score, and they do it here. Lev finds Nightja on a perfect drop-down pass. I cursed him as well. I was saying just how well Pyrix and Tufio did to shut down the offense of King's Castle. But that didn't shut them down. And really, King's Castle, what they like to do, at least what we saw them do, is solo plays. 1-on-2s. Use your mechanics, and they like doing that. H is not really in a good place to challenge here. We'll get across to it. Yeah, they've done a good job at that so far, so King's Castle are going to have to get a little more creative on how they score rather than just going kind of up and doing what they want to do in the air. They're going to have to get Pyrix and Tuff are going to have to get a little bit more creative. Sorry, Nightjar and Lev are going to have to get a little bit more creative than that, as a bit of a miss there from Larry. The boost won't spawn for him, and he's in a real bad spot. That's going to be a goal for 3-1, and Nightjar is not going to be happy about this, because Lev went all the way back for boost, and there it wasn't there, so he was left with just about nothing. I think if he just gets on 1 or 2 more boost pads, he's able to jump to the back wall and get that touch. Then we have 2 minutes left now, and well, any hope of a comeback for King's Castle is really not shown so far this game. I haven't seen them take space. I haven't seen them take control. Again, well, this roster again of Tufio and Pyrix is solid. That's a good team. As I said, this is not really where King's Castle should be struggling today. And yet they are. They're really having a tough time keeping up with them right now. And really getting offense. King's Castle is starting to become a bit too one-dimensional on what they want to do. Again, they've got to get creative. They've got to go for different things. And got to be able to keep consistent pressure on this team. Because clearly, the defensive positioning, while not bad, isn't something you want to be reliant on. Something that they've been able to use just fine in all their matches so far. But eventually, you're going to get into a match where you're playing against a team that you can just play aggressive on. Maybe you can shut down what they want to do. And King's Castle has not been able to do that. So they have been struggling to keep up. And it's now a 3-goal difference here as Lev, who has been heavy on the instant challenges, going to get caught there. You knew he was going to come back to bite him eventually. And I think for King's Castle, this game, it's just a playstyle that doesn't work right now for them. They're, again, trying to play that defensive, trying to rely on their defense. That isn't working against Pyrix and Tufio. I don't know what they're going to change going the next game, but something I'd like to see them change is their positioning around the field. I want to see them sit up a little higher. And, you know, not let them have offense. I think once Pyrix and Tufio have offense, and with the amount of offense they've had, this is where things get scary, but maybe it's the defense that's going to be a bigger issue. That's going to go off the bar, and, ooh, off the bar again. That should have been 5-1. I don't know if it's going to make a big difference this game, but King's Castle have only been able to score once. Their offense has been, the first time in this tournament, completely silenced. Very quiet game for a normally very energetic team. One where we saw a lot from Lev earlier. We need to see them both get involved. The only goal from a drop-down type pass. And again, maybe it takes something like that. Maybe it's a less reliance on the mechanics and more reliance on again, other modes of beating them, as that's gonna find the net there. Lev left it. He had no chance to challenge, and that should tell you how game 1 has been for the King's Castle. Completely silent. Pyrix and Tufio, again, playing their game. They're playing their way. If you're King's Castle, you're gonna be very disappointed. This is the worst game they've had so far this tournament. And while that bar is rather high for what would be the worst game they've ever had, in that they really haven't had bad games so far this event. They're gonna need some confidence boosting going into game 2, because as I said, they're a team that can get better as the series goes on, but these first games are really crucial for them, because if they lose these, they put all that pressure on them late in the series, which just isn't going to be which just isn't something you want to ever do. But for Pyrix and Tufio, that's game 1 for them. We did just get confirmation that Deadlock did win their match, so again, Andy and Flitz, they're in the next round. They're waiting now. We'll go into game 2 momentarily. But I have to imagine that for Nightjar and Lev, this is going to be a playstyle change more than anything else. Their playstyle just isn't working. I think Pyrix and Tuff are doing a lot of the same things that they're trying to do. They're a little more aggressive, and they're holding a lot more offense because of that. So for Nightjar and Lev, who only had 5 shots this game, that's pretty low for what they want to do here. When you compare that to 15 shots of Pyrix and Tufio. like the question I have for King's Castle is now, are you able to change your playstyle? You know, one thing I haven't mentioned too much, because they haven't had to do it, because we haven't had to see them show it, is if they can adapt. Now you gotta show us that you can do it. I mean, adaptation, being able to adapt is one of the key factors if a team's going to win a tournament or not. Is if you can adapt to bad things happening. Because let's be realistic, no matter what team you are in this tournament, bad things are going to happen. You've got to be willing to, you've got to be the team that's able to, you know, recognize that bad things are happening and make necessary adjustments because bad things are happening. So, we'll see. Nice for King's Castle. Would be their second game loss of the day. They have not been nearly as perfect as they were yesterday, albeit the opponents are a whole lot tougher than yesterday. We're going to have to see what they adjust to or what they change, if anything. So far, the big change I'm seeing, Lev's now switched off his car. He's gone to his tried and trusty Fennec. He switched his car around to something a little bit more what you would expect from him. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Honda Civic. I think that's what he went with before as a Civic. That's a great car. I like that car, so... we'll see what the King's Castle can do to respond. Right now, they're very slow from Lev, who kind of got beat there. It is a great chance to shoot with. Nitro, oh, he missed it! Lev's got to get back. It's a shot that does go wide. They got real fortunate there, King's Castle. I actually don't mind Lev leaving there, but Nitro, he's going to need that touch. Now he's going to make this one. Another shot there that's not taken. Pyrix and Tufio on offense, and this is where things get real scary. This is a team that seems to be all on the offense right now. Pyrix and Tufio. As long as they're upfield with the ball, as long as they're taking shots, they're going to be more than happy. That's the scary sign right now, is that if this Pyrix and Tufio side ever gets to offense, you're going to need to be on your best behavior here. Defensively, they're a much weaker team, though, and that's where King's Castle can probably exploit them. Offensively, Pyrix and Tufio, the best offense we've seen so far this tournament, is that's a bad pass from Nitya. That is a free shot here if they take it. No flip reset, though. Boost, though, but Nitya's going to take it away. As past one. Waiting back is Nitya. Is Lev on the clear. It will be taken to the back wall and held by Pyrix and Tufio. Again, I still don't know who's who. On this team, they've decided to have some interesting name changes. That surprises me because I've never seen Pyrix and Tufio do that before, but... maybe there's something different. I don't know why. King's Castle still looking for that lead, though. This is a very low-scoring game, and they don't mind low-scoring games. We saw them have a couple of those yesterday, and Lev's really going in for that. That is so aggressive from Lev, and really unnecessary. That's been something I've been talking about today for Lev, is how he's willing to jump in for challenges that he shouldn't be. This is one of them. He's going to win that challenge, but I don't know what he's going to expect to win out of that challenge. Being the last guy back, you just can't challenge that. Because you leave yourself wide open behind you, and that's a poor challenge from Lev. I don't know if he got antsy, thinking that he can go for that, but that's something that we've seen Lev willing to go for in this tournament, and it has not worked for him. I think part of the reason why he's been so willing to do is because he gets away with it against these lower-ranked players, but Pyrix and Tufio are definitely not lower-ranked players. It was a poor touch for Nitya. This should be 2-0, and it won't be! Man, there's another miss here. I don't know what Nitya and Lev are thinking, but they have been very lucky that it is not worse this game. And in fact, it's almost tied. And again, Lev goes in. He's left Nitya all alone back here. He will help him out here, at least defensively. And it's played to the back wall. King's Castle will hold. Nitya. Lev. Not the touch he was looking for. Far too heavy here. And at this point, if you're Pyrix and Tufio, well, you're not going to be happy with just a 1-goal lead. You can hold on to this lead. I mean, they've proven they have done such a impressive job at limiting Nitya and Lev on their shots. They just don't let them get close to the net. Oh, Nitya's going to get that one, though. I seem to curse Pyrix and Tufio whenever I compliment their defense. It's happened their second game in a row here. That'll be Nitya with the tying goal. One of those teams, at least Pyrix and Tufio, I don't think this is going to be one where you can beat them if you make it a high-scoring game. You definitely can beat them though if you keep it low-scoring. And for Lev and Nitya, they're going to have to be kind of patient. They have not had a lot of shots, not a lot of great looks. This is a good look, though. Oh, what a save. His back is Knight to the corner. And he's got room. Nightja again. Ooh, he got bumped there, but it's for Lev. Oh, and he really wanted to score that one. Instead, he'll leave it for Nightja. It's played up the post. Nightja's accuracy today has been questionable back in the last series. That is a crucial shot that he will not want to be missing. He'll get another chance here. One-on-one. Surely he's got something to play. It's an air dribble, and it's kept out beautifully. Here we go the other way. Lev takes it off of one. He'll take the corner boost as well. No demo there. Nightja's up with it. Albeit it's not a clean touch, and another clear for the King's Castle, who have been doing a lot of those this series. I really can't challenge here. This is not a fun place to be. And 10 seconds to go in this game. Still tied, so overtime, a likely possibility here, and a likely outcome of this series, unless something changes, and it might change here. Defense for King's Castle. They just want this game to end. That clear will not help them. Oh, and Pyrix and Tufio may have just given it away. Nightja actually lifts this in the air. Would have liked to see him hit it to the ground instead, and it will be overtime now in Game 2. This is a big Game 2 for King's Castle because, I mean, this is a match you don't want to be losing. Pyrix and Tufio clearly are playing quite impressively. This feels like a must-win game for King's Castle. So much relying on this game. It's been a real tough battle from start to finish here. Only 2 goals. Oh, it's a double commit! It's open, and it's going to be a match point here for Pyrix and Tufio. King's Castle got tied up. And somebody was going to call for this one. I mean, Knight just at the back post and Lev's at the front post. I mean, realistically, I want to see Lev challenge that, but someone's got to go for that thing, and they just don't. And it's a big open net on a play that ordinarily isn't that threatening. And yet, those mistakes have been costing Nightja and Lev. And while this game's been better on shooting, 9 shots, still less shots than Pyrix and Tufio, who have a combined 12. This is definitely a disappointing series for Nightja and Lev, and the mistakes they've been making so far this moment that I've been pointing out on this stream, they're showing up here. Overcommits, lack of accuracy, a far too passive defense at times. It's all showing up here, and this is not the point where you want to be doing that, because Pyrix and Tufio can play that, obviously. They can play that game easily. And if you're Nightja and Lev, reminder that a loss here means you gotta win. How many matches do you have to win in lowers? You gotta win 4 matches straight in lowers if you lose here, so versus what would be 1 if you win this series, if you were to lose the next series. So, winning 4 matches straight, very, very difficult. That is a difficult route if you're the King's Castle, and it's going to be a long day if we have to go from 4 matches straight to get to top 32. Reminder that top 32, forget about seeding, obviously, after that. The seeding won't be very nice to you either. Because if you're in lowers, you're automatically in the lower half of the seeds, so tough spot to be if you are the King's Castle, and how you need to reverse sweep Pyrix and Tufio, who have so far just completely outplayed your playstyle. They have completely read your playstyle here so far. Nightja and Lev, I think they got a bit comfy last series, who have again had their own missteps in this tournament. Those weaknesses are being shown here in this series, although that is a huge demo! And a lead for the King's Castle. It won't be enough to make them feel comfortable. This whole game, they're not going to feel comfortable, I can tell you that. But that demo opens things up. We have not seen a lot of those from the King's Castle. They haven't felt comfortable enough going for them. Their opponents haven't stood still, and they haven't had a lot of boost to work with that, but that's something to look into if King's Castle start to use more of those. Just something to isolate Pyrix and Tufio, who are so far playing quite well. As Lev, give it aside. We'll keep it in the midfield. This is an awkward spot if you're Pyrix and Tufio, but they do have it. King's Castle will have to wait. Up they go to the back wall. It's kept away by Nightja, and another double commit here. Lev again jumping in on things. King's Castle have done that a couple times this series. And so often it's on these first efforts where it's not really all that threatening from Pyrix and Tufio. All they're trying to do with these first efforts is make the defense fumble, make the defense fall apart. Double commits are exactly what they want from you. Nightja and Lev, you gotta mitigate. You cannot be having double commits in those kind of positions, because all you're doing is letting your opponents have a free second shot. And as we know with Pyrix and Tufio, they have no problem taking those. As another early challenge here from Lev, who just doesn't want them to get offense here, and for good reason. That's where the struggles have been for King's Castle's when Pyrix and Tufio have them on defense. Lev will take this one. If I had actually a flip on that play, we'll use it if he did. only a 1-goal lead at this point will not be enough. I have to, for the King's Castle, I have to imagine to take this game. Not the way that this Pyrix and Tufio side are competing, and there we go. That's open, and it's in. King's Castle finally give one up. Oh, we got kicked by the party. You knew it was going to happen eventually with the way that Pyrix and Tufio are playing. They've been able to do what Nitro and Lev wanted to do, but better. They've been able to play one of those 1v2s a lot more convincingly. Nitro and Lev have a whole lot of work to do, but again, a lot of it's going to come down to can they adapt from their own playstyle? Can they adapt from what they're so used to doing? When that playstyle doesn't work, what do they have? So far, they haven't changed much, if anything, and you're going to see Pyrix and Tufio continue to win if they haven't changed that much. I saw the demos earlier, I didn't mind that either. This is a wide open net though, by the way. Not wide open net, but a wide open chance. Lev heavy on the overcommit there. Nitro can't challenge because he's the last one back, and Lev goes all in on that play, and we've seen that disconnect before where Lev jumps in on a play, and Nitro can't support him on it. A lot of times it comes down to Lev not winning his challenges when he needs to, and well, it's a tough position to be in. You never want to leave your player on a one-on-one. Back defense is it really. And really, you never want to leave them, and you should never leave them on a two-on-one. I've done that a couple times with, tonight, yeah. Again, today is going to be a real difficult day for the King's Castle. Mentioned it earlier. Again, against the teams lower seeded than them. And as I said, seeding really doesn't matter all too much. It can tell you a lot of things, but at this point in your tournament, it all comes down to how you play on the day, and well, one team right now is playing a whole lot better than the other. Oh, is that challenge? Nitro was really not back for this, and he's still not back. Lev will get the ball. At this point, if you're Pyrix and Tufio, you're just going to play to take out the clock. Nitro will long shoot this, but it is an easy collect, and again, boost being an issue now. Lev will jump in. It's not a great challenge, though. This is going to be straight on target. King's Castle consistently pushed all the way back because anytime when they go upfield, it's Lev on a high push. Nitro in behind. They've got to be up there together. And good things happen. That is a good shot. Lev on the fake. A little more risky, but that's the kind of stuff I want to see from King's Castle. I mean, that is a 2-on-1, though, so they're absolutely going to push up. But 2-on-2, I want to see what their position is going to be like. I want to see them closer to each other. I think it's going to come down to Lev not challenging nearly as willingly. He's got to be a little bit more choosy on his passing plays. That's an interesting play there. Oh, that's going to be a tough play for Lev. He does get the save. Nitro doesn't have a lot of boost to work with here, and that's going to still fall in front. Lev will have it. Only a minute to go in this game. Oh, boost though for the King's Castle. They are not willing to take offense because of this. And Nitro, he's not going to be able to take this challenge. Lev's all the way behind him. Now Lev's in the nets. Nitro's not going to challenge that. He knows he cannot overcommit. He can't do what Lev's been doing, what that Lev did earlier in the game where one goal likely ends it for the King's Castle. 40 seconds now. One goal can be will almost certainly be the difference maker here as it's off the back wall. Lev will hold. He'll clear it away. One-on-one chance with Lev. It's a flip reset. Not gonna really be all that threatening here. And in fact, it's a straight counterattack here. Lev did not get rid of the defense. Here we go the other way. Miss from Nitro. Lev, who he swiped and whiffed on that. He's not gonna get this either. Nitro does avoid, but little fortune there that shot doesn't go in. King's Castle's had a bit of fortune this series that this game and the last game have not been more one-sided. And we may have overtime again. Pyrix and Tufio have the ball. I don't know if they're going to want to make anything out of this. They do have boost, though. They won't. They will let this end in overtime. Last game had a lot of the momentum on it. This one is just for survival. I can't think of the momentum that's on this thing, but I can think of what King's Castle's thinking, and that is that if they lose here, that lower bracket is a long way to the top 32. It would have to be 4 wins straight. And there is... I mean, that lower bracket's always been quite scary, quite difficult. And not a place you want to be left in here. The other side of the bracket is Andy and co. That's gonna end it! A sweep to the hands of Pyrix and Tufio. And for Nitro and Lev, the troubles that they've had earlier today have come back to haunt them in the worst ways possible. A series where you saw someone play their playstyle better, and they just could not adapt to it. Pyrix and Tufio sweep them here. And for Nitro and Lev, this should be a wake-up call for them that one of the things that they need to do here is adapt to their opponents, something that they just didn't do well earlier. That means they're in the lower bracket. That means our run stops in the uppers, goes to lowers now, and we need to win 4 matches straight if we're going to be in the top 32. That is... Sorry, did I say 4 matches? Actually, I think it's 3 matches straight. Not 4 matches, it's 3 matches straight. We would need to win 3 matches straight to be in the top 32. That is not an easy place to be. It would be either Stromboli or Double R that we'd be playing against next in lowers. But I must say, a disappointing game if you are Nitro and Lev. There was no guarantees you'd go through uppers, and this is a much earlier departure than they would have expected. Again, they were really looking forward to playing against the that last match with Deadlock and Flitz. And Andy. Such a good roster that one is, so they're not going to get that chance anymore to qualify through uppers. They got to go all the way through the lower bracket. And I must say, if you're Nitro and Lev, that series should definitely teach you that there is no guarantees you're going into the top 32 or even in the top 6, going to the top 16 or the top 32. Even if you're the 16th seed, there is no guarantees. So they've got a lot of work to do. They've got a lot that they have to prove. And one thing they definitely can't feel is safe in this bracket. Pyrix and Tufio so far have been on a bit of a tear this tournament as well. They did have a sweep in their match previously, so in ways this Pyrix and Tufio team, I wish them the best of luck, because against Andy and Flitz, I mean they obviously looked very good. They looked very consistent. I guess the question now comes down to, can Nitro and Lev find that consistency themselves? Stick around a little bit longer. I mean, that's something we'll just have to wait and find out. For now, we just have to wait to see what will happen in the rest of this bracket. I am going to show you what the lowers looks like right now. Of course, not everything has been updated, but again, we played against the winner of Stromboli and Double R. There we go. Here in losers round 4. We do need to win 3 times though to make it to the top 32. Doable, very difficult, but doable. There are some good teams, like Chiwiwis is a good team. That's a team that has made top 32 in RLCS. That's Poyo and Seek. That is a team I would not be surprised we play against and have a tough time with, because that team's quite good. And of course, we'd have to play against loser of match M, which would be either Space Station or Dales. I mean, assuming it's Dales, that roster is Manterflying and Josh. That's Manterflying's roster. Not a bad team. Definitely one we were expected to beat, but we were expected to go through uppers, so at this point it doesn't matter. Forget about seeding. We may be the favorites in all of our matches, but we need to play like it, and we need to definitely play our game. And I mean, I know how good Manterflying is. He is a very good twos player, so that's a tough route to be in. But for us, we're gonna have to wait a little longer here for the other match to continue and confirm. Tough road for us. Uppers, though, is out of the question now. Meaning our lower bracket run begins now, and we could be here for another 3 matches. And mind you, tomorrow we could be here for we'll be here for 3 to 5 matches, assuming we make it. That's going to be a long day as well. So please support, please stick around, because I mean, I'm over here. It's sweating, it's hot, and it is a long day here on this stream. But for us, we will be going into losers round 4. Of course, still best of 5s, if any of you are wondering. Still best of 5s. And still, who knows? Still chances to make it. But for us, at least, we will have to wait and see. Of course, no confirmation who we play next. It's either Stromboli or Double R. Hello, Jonesy. Nice to see you. How are things going with Nameless? I hope you're doing well. You joined us for the team stream here for King's Castle. This is Nitro and Lev, by the way, if you're wondering. which you know Lev quite well. He won Nameless Season 1. But anyways, I hope you're doing well, Jonesy. Nice to see you. I hope things are going well. We did just come off a sweep loss, so we're waiting for the lower bracket to catch up to us here. Being either Stromboli or Double R. I can tell you actually who's on those rosters. I actually don't know who's on those rosters. Stromboli is Realize and Alvaz. That's a good team. And Double R is RS and Ryan. RS and Ryan are like... is RS B? He might be B+. I think RS is B. But I actually don't fully know. I would have to check on that. What rank are you, RS? I mean by 6 mans, by the way. Okay, that's RS and... I know Ryan's B rank. RS is also apparently B rank. And then on the other side, it is Realize and Alvaz, which is an interesting duo. I haven't seen Alvaz in Alvaz's name in a while. I actually have no clue what rank Alvaz would be. I would assume maybe B rank. We need probably be like B+, maybe. I know Realizes, I think he's X. He's X rank. Let's see, do I have Realize's name up here? Yeah, there he is. So at least I'm almost on this. I mean, this is definitely the X. I know it's the X rank. Realize I don't know why I'm checking. Alvaz I don't think has a 6-man's rank. I would guess he's around B+, or maybe A. Just wanted to hop by and show us some support. Well, I appreciate that, Zones. I'm happy this tournament's going well. For Nameless, how many teams showed up today? I know that you guys... I know you told me before you guys knew you weren't going to have crazy signups because, I mean, RLCS is happening, but I hope signups weren't hindered or hit too badly because of RLCS. But yeah, Nightly Live are great. They're great. They won. They won one of the weekly events. It's been an interesting night. Different caliber of players in the tournament. Yeah, I expected. I expected you probably weren't going to have any of the B rank or up players that you're used to. But don't worry. I hope you guys continue to do well. I hope the number of teams that signed up wasn't hindered too much, because I feel like more lower ranked players would sign up for a tournament knowing that RLCS is happening, because now they don't have to play against all the pro level players. But I have no clue. 22 teams. Okay, I was wrong. It is a decent amount less. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. The nice thing is with RLCS, hopefully with none of the future events happening doing any other big tournaments like RLCS or the LCQ, hopefully the numbers will go back up again. It's always tough to try to run tournaments at this point of the year because RLCS is weird with scheduling. It's that weird dead zone between the second major and the World Championship where you never know when things are happening. There's all these big tournaments that are happening, but they always get announced kind of late. I mean, EWC just got announced when their dates are happening and their LCQ and their qualifiers happening. That's going to be interesting as well. I know a lot of things are getting shifted around. I know a lot of people are like scrambling to move the tournaments because of the Esports World Cup, because of the Esports Nations Cup, which is happening in late August, I believe, because of the World Championship, Last Chance qualifiers in July. So I know what it is. Plus, another smaller players did sign up. Okay, well, at least a good amount of smaller players did sign up. The nice thing is you still got, 8 more weeks to go. So the nice thing for you guys on Nameless, at least, is that you still have a long season. Yeah, Jonesy, I'll be on Nameless eventually. I obviously can't be for this weekend, which is sad, but I'll be there hopefully next weekend, starting next weekend. Anyways, we'll wait a little bit longer. Again, we'll wait a little bit here while we do, but again, we are waiting for that match in lowers to conclude. It'll be lowers round 3, Stromboli or Double R. I have a feeling we're probably playing Stromboli, and that is a good team. That's Realize and Alvaz. So that's a good team. Realize is really, really good. So I've seen Realize before. He's very, very scary. I'm surprised he's down this early, but I mean, I don't know how good Alvaz is necessarily. I know he used to be like a pro level player, but he hasn't been there in a while. So I have no clue what rank he'd be. B, B+. I would say maybe B+ or A. But I have no clue how good Alvaz is anymore. I know he's at least still SSL, but I don't know how good he is. He's probably like A rank though. If I had to guess, he's probably closer to A rank. I can check. Assuming it's the pro player Alvarez, which it's gotta be. I can't think of anyone else who's named Alvarez. Let's see. What is it? What has his results been like this season? He hasn't played since last season, but last season he was consistently in the top 64, so that'd be about B+ rank in terms of rankings. That'd be a B+ rank level player. He did make top 32 once, which would be around A rank. So he'd be like B+ A, which is about where I'd probably put him as well if I had to take a guess. You always have a good place with us. Oh, of course, Jonesy. I'd like to join you guys again in the future. Hopefully that happens. Hopefully I'm able to join you guys for the next couple of weeks. I do have a vacation coming up in late June, so gotta pay attention to that too. That's gonna be interesting. My June schedule is all sorts of weird. I've got Royalty Series, I've got you guys, I've got my vacation coming up that I'd like to take. Of course.
Save me. I'm running out of air. I'm running out of air. I'm running out of air. I'm running
We're actually going to cut the break a little early here, guys. Our next match has been confirmed. It will be against Stromboli in the lower brackets. Now, oh, what happened there? Come on, there we go. Bracket has updated. Stromboli will be our next matchup. That is actually not a bad roster. That is a roster I'm surprised that's in the lower bracket at this point. And that lost as early as they did. That is Realize. That will be Realize and Alraz that's on that roster. They just took a 3-0 sweep win. That's actually a pretty good team. I would not be surprised to see... I mean, I'm surprised to see this team this low. I guess not that crazy surprised, because Alraz isn't super high rated, but... Realize definitely is. This is the X-Rank Realize that has made it up RLCS top 16... somewhat recently. He's not an unknown player to me. And a pretty good one at that. Now, the way this works is we're in lower, so we got to win 3 straight to get to the top 32. If we lose at all, our run is over. So the pressure's on. We got to perform well here against Realize and Alvarez. And reminder here, it's elimination now on the line. So this is it for us. We lose, over. No more second chances. You only get one of these opens. So you got to perform well here in this best of 5. Elimination now on the line for Nitra and Lev. They take on Realize and Alvarez here in lower round 4. And again, I'm surprised that Realize and Alvarez are down this early. They're a very good opponent. So, we'll see. The matches are likely to get only tougher from here on out. But this is a team I would consider... I don't know if I'd consider them as good as the previous opponent we've gone up against. Again, I don't know how good Alvarez is overall as a duo to Realize. I mean, clearly Pyrix and Tufio looks insane. And that, to be fair, this is Pyrix and Tufio, a very good duo. But... for King's Castle, at least, they gotta play well. This is not the start you wanted here, and the big play is gonna be Realized. This guy right here, he's a very mechanical player. He's a very good player, and and I wouldn't even consider him a slow player here. That's an overcommit though from Nitra, who's had some issues with his accuracy all day long. Unfortunately, has not been able to get better. That's an open net for Realize here, and if you're King's Castle, you know, watching Stromboli just come up with a sweep win, knowing that you just got swept, knowing that you guys have not played up to your full capabilities, you gotta really perform here, and Alvarez isn't going to let you get away with that. A big kickoff goes nowhere. And he'll look for Realize, and it could be 2-0. Nitya will clear it back as Alvaz will hold, and King's Castle, at least already, things feel a lot more controlled. It's a lot slower, a lot more towards their own, like, pace of play. They're not being outpaced, it's not being a game where it feels like it's too fast for them. Feels a lot more, feels like a game you can be a lot more in control of, but the scary part is this! There's Realize! And there's what's going to make him so scary. He is such a mechanical player. He can do this kind of stuff all day long. I've had the pleasure of seeing Realize plenty of times before. Definitely not the kind of guy you want to be going up against in this part of the competition. And yet, here we are, taking on Realize in lower round 4. Knowing that if we lose, we're going to be out very early in this tournament. I mean, this is within the top, obviously, the top 164, but not by much. It would be just barely, I think, in the top 100, like, I don't even know if we'd be in the top 128. I don't know how far we're in the tournament, but what I do know is, at this point, if you're Nitya and Lev, you don't really care. You need to get wins. And of course, being the 16th seed, there's a lot of pressure on you being at that high of a seed, but they are expected. They were expected to go to day 4, and they're expected to go through this thing in the through this point of the tournament, through the upper bracket. Obviously, that won't happen. Expected to go through the upper bracket here. They, of course, lost far earlier than they were expected to. Pressure's on, as this is a wide open net for Nitya. Stromboli left one for them. As a really heavy push there. Realize, I actually didn't notice, but he jumped on that. Which is quite interesting. Jump on a play like that and get nowhere with it, but of course they're gonna get one up the kickoff here, and King's Castle. Well, this game may not be nearly as I don't know what you say, nearly as hopeless as the last series was. This does not feel any better. It feels worse, knowing that you're at this point, knowing what's on the line if you're Nitya and Lev, and knowing that you know, a loss here could mean the end of your tournament. Well, will mean the end of your tournament. And to go down early in the series would be a pretty terrible start. Again, this is a team I think that gets better over time, but if they lose these early games, they are going to put a lot of pressure in near the end of the series. As Realize did overcommit on that. Realize got to go. Here's an open net for Lev, and he will be happy to take it there. Alvarez did go. Nitya knew it as well, and I think Realize is going to be blaming himself for that one. He just didn't outplay anyone going to the corner. He just kind of outplayed himself. If you're always in that position, either you go or you don't go. Either way, you're kind of in a terrible position because it's 2-on-1. I actually don't mind him going there, considering what Nitya was initially trying to do, which was dribble that. But it wasn't going to work. And for Stromboli, at least, this early lead they have had may be cut down, and Lev's going to have something to say about it. Double tap and in for the King's Castle. Well, he definitely does have something to say about it. Tied game. And really, if you're King's Castle, all you're looking for at this point is just getting this first win in the lower bracket, getting the confidence boost, getting the momentum on your side. It's so tough to start that momentum, but once you have it in the lower bracket, it is such a great weapon to use in a tournament like this. So for King's Castle, I think for them, the nerve-wracking series is going to be this one. You got to get that first win. Once you get this first win, momentum on your side. Well, I shouldn't say this is the nerve-wracking series. The nerve-wracking series is going to be the qualification one, but this is the big one, I think, in terms of momentum, in terms of how they're going to feel for the rest of this tournament. If they can win this, and then gets their momentum going, I think they can go all the way to that qualification round. There's Stromboli. Not looking to be so nice about that thing. Alraz doesn't get very far, and that's a heavy commit here. King's Castle's done a great job at playing one-on-one. Lev missed the net, though. That would have been the lead right there. As it'll play it around the sidewall, won't get far with that. Alvarez runs out a boost. As here goes Realize. Caught by Nitya. Alvarez. Stromboli. Definitely going to lose those one-on-one challenges that you need to win in a game mode like this. Tough play for Lev. He does get to it. And up, here goes Realize all the way back to defense. Got a bump on Nitya along the way. Now Alvarez getting bumped out. Stromboli in all sorts of places. The King's Castle will be happy with that. This is a wide open net for Nitya. And if you're King's Castle, you need this. You need these wins. You need this momentum. Pressure's on. Of course, top 32 still within reach, but you need to work for this, and soon. Just realize. Finds Alvaz, who has had a tough time being able to keep up this series, or in this game. Like as I said, the big threat on Stromboli is going to be realized easily. The real question is going to be Alvaz. What can he do? Because we know what Realize can do. Alvaz, though, has been quiet. And not the good kind of quiet. As Realize. Ooh. Was able to play that one wide, but look at where Alvaz is. He does not have boost. And he's just waiting back there. Of course, they only need one goal, but the more you wait, the more time's off that clock. And less opportunities that you're going to have at the end of this game. All Stromboli is doing is waiting for the opportunity, but it may not come to them here if they take too long. Alvaz, ooh, Realize left initially. He's not going to be able to shoot from here. Alvaz will, just trying any sort of desperation push. Realize, dunked away. That ends game 1 for the King's Castle. I must say, not an easy game 1 at that. But by the end of this thing, the game 1 that we wanted to see from this team, they may have given up a lot more shots, but what they did well is one-on-one, they're winning. And again, Alvaz really quiet this game. If they can kind of isolate Realize as that major threat, you're not really supposed to do this with a lot of teams because it doesn't always work well. But if you're able to isolate the major threat in Realize, as long as you recognize that that's the threat here, you're actually going to be in a really good position. So for King's Castle, you can just isolate, Realize he's the major threat. As long as you can get rid of him as the threat, I think this series goes by quickly. So far, strong game 1. And now we'll see if they can improve as they typically do in these matches as they get longer. Long lower bracket ahead of us again. Would be 3 wins straight needed to make top 32. No losses in any of that. That second life all gone now for the King's Castle. As Realize will dribble. He'll stay with it too. Reset. Held by Naicha. And to be fair, this isn't the first time that Lev and Naicha have been on the lower bracket. Not the first time they've been in the lower bracket on this stream for RLCS. And they've been to the qualification round before and have lost in that position together as a duo. So, not as a duo, as it would on a 3v3 team. So they know what it's like to be in this position. They're familiar with it. A tough spot to be fair, as Realize gets taken out. Oh my, what a bump. King's Castle getting physical. We have not seen this much from them today. Anytime they do it, though, it just seems to work for them. I'm surprised they don't do it more often. But it's a lead. And a lead that they can build off of here against Stromboli. I know that the loser of this is out, so it feels weird and surreal, but we've been in this position before. We know what's at risk. Lose and you're out. You don't have that same net to save you like you do in the upper bracket. It's here or never. No more second chances. Or I guess in this case, third chances. This would be your second chance. King's Castle will need to step up to get there. Reset for Naicha. Kept away by Realizes. Here goes Alvaz. Gets by Naicha. Lev's gonna play that challenge. Realize on low boost. And Alvaz kind of in his own position here. But again, the big threat again for King's Castle. As long as they can get rid of Realize, they're in a very good spot. And I would not be surprised if we see them play very high up on Realize. Sort of make him do something. Because again, Alvaz has been rather quiet so far. It feels like as if Alvaz isn't able to keep up with this pace of play. For Stromboli, at least. Team of, again, recognizable players to me. The pace of play might be what ends up catching them here by the end of this series. As King's Castle still happy with this lead that they have. Of course, it's not enough for their appetite. They'll look for at least one more as... Well, team bump there. Alvarez running into Realize and... Well, we'll look to play this one back. Realize still has it. Demoed away. Here goes Nitya. Up with it. Reset again. Gets by Alvarez. Nitya still will play the challenge on Realize. Pumps up the side wall. Not an easy play here for Realize. He gets chipped by Lev. Alvarez, runs right into him. Demo, though, for Alvarez means Nitya's actually got to play defensively here. He doesn't have an option, and that almost goes in. Realize nearly pickpocketed him to tie this game. And King's Castle finally realizing, I think they're realizing in this game just how mortal they really are. This lead is not much to hold. It really leaves you for not much room for error. But this has definitely been a better game so far from them in terms of not letting Stromboli get to them. But here goes Realize. He's got a lot of room. Great cut from Nitya. Alvarez will play it mid. Nitya's up. Ooh, he does get the play on Realize, and Alvarez kind of far away. He will not have the boost getting back to defense. In fact, he won't even have the ball here. Nitya's going to play for the pass. The Realize has it, and he'll pinch it out of danger. Nitya again. That one kept all the way back and in the net. Alvarez did not play that challenge well. And it goes in for the 2-0 lead for King's Castle. They have been asking for that goal all game, that's for certain. And eventually it does fall in for them. There's less than a minute to go now. Oh, that's going to be 3-0 right there. Oh, it's not. I thought Lev had that one. He looked so calm. He won't have it, though, and Stromboli can go the other way. They're still looking for that comeback, but they've just overcommitted. Surely King's Castle make it 3-0 here. They almost do with that double tap for 90. That would have been an incredible shot, but here goes Realize the other way. Flip reset. Realize. Oh, he's going to make Lev work for the save. Alvarez being bumped along the way. He'll get bumped again. King's Castle look very content here. They may not score a third goal in regulation. They still have time, but they may not. It won't matter. Well, it was only 2-0. This was a much better of a game than game 1 for King's Castle. A whole lot better. And this is what we expect from them, to control and to really isolate Realize as the players to watch out for here. Alvarez even quieter this game. After this, we'd be playing against the winner of Hollow and Aereo, or Hesse and Impo. Oh, that'll be fun. Hesse and Impo won the 2v2 event that King's Castle was in on Thursday, the double commit 2v2 warm-up. They played them, got swept in that thing, so I think you might have to play against Hesse and Impo in that match again. Although it was, I think, Eris and Impo, not Hesse and Impo. It was Eris and Impo. They had to play Impo. They got swept by him. So they might have to play that team next in lower round 5. Either that would be Hollow and Aerial, who are definitely not unknown players to me. And we're getting into the real tough matchups here in the lower bracket. Anyways, still not there yet. We need one more win. King's Castle, one more victory, and we're into lower round 5, where the matches continue. And, well, we've started off well. Infield from Lev, straight to Nitya, straight to the net, and King's Castle stay in it for now. I don't really know what else to say there. Just clean. Just a well-played game. Still a lot more to play, but for now, King's Castle look good, and I mean they can hold these kind of leads. I mean they proved the last game they can actually manage the Stromboli offense. Albeit that was a nice play from Stromboli, and again it all comes from Realize. If Realize can get things going, he's gonna make He can make goals happen. Right to Alvarez and right to the net. As long as if Realize has the ball, that's when King's Castle needs to kind of take notice, because he's been, again, the problem player this series, and he's going to continue to be the problem player this series. King's Castle may be up 2-0 in the series, but again, that doesn't mean Realize becomes any less of a threat. In fact, I feel like he becomes more of a threat, because we might see him take over a little bit more often, as that almost goes in. Nitro will pinch it away. Realize is up with it. Plays the fake for Alvarez to tie it! Or sorry, to take the lead, actually. Alvarez takes it. And Nitro did exactly what Realize wanted to do, and that was jump in on that challenge. Pinched it straight mid. And Realize knows Nitro doesn't have a lot of boost in that position, so he can't chase after it. I think if Nitro had more boost, I think we would have seen Realize leave the play completely. That he goes that he gets that pinch, he gets what he wants, and he gets Nitro to essentially pass it to Alvarez, who now has both goals this game so far. King's Castle have not been able to have a sweep win yet today. They had 3 straight sweeps yesterday. Today they have had none so far. It is up the back wall. Kept back by Lev. Realize trying to play it outward for Alvarez. Won't get very far on that play, and Alvarez doesn't get the challenge either. It's Lev to Knight. Alvarez jumps in on the way, and a bit of an overcommit there. Realize nearly fell for that. As here goes Alvarez. Slow things down for Stromboli. That is still a dangerous position here. As Nitro likes this. I mean, he's going to love this spot, because he can do a lot from there. Alvarez will get the ball away. I mean, he was initially frozen on that goal line there. I mean, again, Nitro loved that corner, and now he's going to go again, and Realize doesn't have boost! Oh, he still gets to that! Lev now! Alvarez for the save! And Stromboli really holding on, desperately holding on! As here goes Realize. Just trying to get some boost. You'll need Alvarez to make this next block. Go to the corner. Realize will collect, and finally, for Stromboli at least, the offense is over from King's Castle. They can go the other way on their own. With their own ideas. As Realize got bumped to Alvarez, who looking for his hat trick at this point. Stromboli looking for any way to really break through King's Castle once more. Up the back wall. Alvarez to Realize. Oh, they ran into each other. It is open if they can take it. This game is tied. A terrible decision from Stromboli. Alvarez and Realize run right into each other. And all it takes is one play like that. King's Castle can take the game back into their hands. Still 2 minutes to go, but reminder, elimination on the line and match point for King's Castle. All they need is one, really all they need is one goal. But the way they've been playing, all they really need is one goal. Take this lead, and to, I would honestly say, win the series with it. As Lav gets Realize to go. Now it's Nitro, who actually gets removed there by Alvarez. It's Realize to the net. It is up the post and in. And King's Castle now at their turn to overcommit. What a great read from Alvarez. And again, too slow from King's Castle. If you're going to go for a pass, you got to be absolutely sure it doesn't get intercepted. Because if it does, you're not going to have anyone back to save you there. They've had issues before with their infield passing not working. It happens again here. People just aren't going to give you that space at this rank level. Unless you earn it. Stromboli had more than enough boost to work with there. King's Castle and caught on another passing lane that doesn't go the way they want to. Now Nitro. That's a great touch from Realize. In fact, he's going to take this out of defense with this touch. Musty flick. Of course, King's Castle back in the defense. A goal needed if you're King's Castle just to stay in this series. Little to 90 seconds. Alvarez. Nitro will take. Still going is Nitro. Who Realize. Ground pinch! Alvarez has got to that one. I don't think he was expecting him a touch that powerful. And yet, here he still is. Another great challenge for Alvarez, who has really woken up this game. Stromboli is only up by 1, though. King's Castle, all they need is one good opportunity. One good one-on-one play. Oh, we back in it is. Here goes Nitya. That's what he needed! Big boom! Nitya jumps forward. And Alvarez with no chance. I mean, this is just for survival. At this point, if you are Stromboli, to stay in the bracket. King's Castle. Team that's eyeing up that top 32. They are still a long way away from it. But this is the start to that lower bracket redemption arc. One more goal still needed, though. 30 seconds to go. Realize. Oh, he gets by one. Nitya will go up early. As Realize had to go back here for defense. He'll look to play it to Alvarez. It's Lev instead. Second touch. Straight to Realize, who actually won't get the boost immediately here. Means Lev can actually challenge that. Of course, Nitya doesn't get that play. Lev's got to be real careful here. He doesn't overcommit. Says he'll go on the field. Alvarez holds. Oh, and up goes Realize. Nitya. He'll hit back to the net. Lev on the last chance. Alvarez wants this one grounded. He will not get his wish initially, but now he will. Lev unable to find the play. Nitya. And we've got another overtime here. We have had plenty of overtimes so far tonight. King's Castle have not been great in them so far. This is to take the series to go to lower round 5. You have to think if you're King's Castle. We keep mistaking as Knight's Castle, by the way. I keep making that mistake. You have to think that King's Castle have everything in their cards here. They're playing the right cards. They just need to play them one more time. Shot front post. Alvarez keeps that ball out. And he'll go back. Oh, Realize is already up for this. It's a beautiful shot for Realize. And for King's Castle, there will still be no sweep to win tonight. It's a beautiful pre-jump from Realize. And again, that's the scary part of Realize. He is a very mechanical player. King's Castle's run. Well, we are not in lower round 5 just yet. It'd be a tougher game, and again, one where Alvarez got a whole lot more involved in the right ways. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see what happens, but... Of course, I would still be a little nervous here if I'm King's Castle, because, I mean, this is the momentum, this is the match to get your momentum going. And so far, it has not been easy for them. We go to Game 4 here in this series. King's Castle now. While there is a minimal fit of reverse sweep. Oh, that's a good start, though. They're not going to be thinking about that. They're just going to think about closing out this series. Once you start thinking about what could be the bad outcome, then you really get in your own head, and then it can happen. You can manifest it. You can play worse. You can play differently. But now they're just going to think about going into this game, doing what they know they can do. And really hoping that Alvarez isn't nearly as active as he was last game, because if he's active, now that changes up the complete playstyle here for King's Castle, because I think early on, I think early on, the major threat the only threat they were thinking about was Realize, because he was really the only threat early on in this series on Stromboli. But now if Alvarez can get involved, that makes things a whole lot tougher, and he's going to be a threat here! Lip reset dunk! And Stromboli just cycling through the members. It's Alvarez who finally gets his breakthrough. And look, it may have taken him a couple games, but Alvarez is becoming much more of a threat than he used to be. And that means for King's Castle, at least, they're probably going to need to start changing things around and changing the way they're approaching this series, because now you can't just think about Realize as the threat. Now you got to consider both players here, because they're both a threat here as almost a play-in. Realize does get there in time. As Lev gonna find his way through Alvarez, who did not play that well. Lev's gonna have a chance to score here. Bumped away. Alvarez on the turn. Alvarez to take the lead. It's gonna go in to the bottom right corner. Well, Stromboli looking for Game 5. We haven't had one so far today. I'd love to not see one. As much as Lev's got a great history on Game 5, I don't want to see one for this team. It would be a reverse sweep potential Game 5 as well. It was a double fake kickoff. Alves did read it. Won't get a shot on that play, but it will be offense as Lev missed the boost. He'll have the ball back here in his own corner, but be a much slower offense, and one where Realize actually has a little bit of boost to recover to. Nitcha is forced to go back to defense. Alves, oh, the pinch it mid. It's a bit of an awkward spot if you realize, but he makes good work on. Alves, a bit of a bump. Ooh, but he does clear it right to Nitcha, who is really not the guy you want to have give the ball to right now. As it will be poked away. Low boost though for Nitcha and Alves. I mean, this is Lev and Realize really on their own. Realize plays that so well though. He completely removes Lev as a threat. And here goes Alves down the field. Boost to work with. He's just going to go in with a full head of steam. Realize to shoot it. It is just kept away. Nitcha on the goal line. And King's Castle looking just get some boost to recover. Alvarez on a full tank. He's got all open air in front. Nitcha's gonna go eventually. Lev's gonna go first. Here goes Realize. It's bumped out. And it's an open net if they can take it. It's Lev to take this one back. And Stromboli had been caught a couple times doing this. Realize he was trying to play such a light touch there to keep the offense going. Got a bit overconfident. And in comes the dunk from Nitcha. The goal from Lev. As Alves, oh, he doesn't get this one. This is a horrible spot if you Realize. He's got to make a quick decision on when to go. He'll go now. Oh, he does a great job at getting rid of Lev, but it's still a shot. And I mean, that is just clinical for Nitcha. His accuracy has had some issues tonight. That will not be one such issue. And for King's Castle now, 1 goal up in the lead. Oh, it may not be 1 goal up for long. Recovery, though, from Lev. But Stromboli, I mean, they've got some real confidence coming in this thing, and for good reason. Simply put, they've gotten better as this series has gone on. Unfortunately for them, this early deficit could really be their undoing if they didn't start the series this way, meaning they're on a no-mistakes kind of gameplay. A no-mistakes situation. They're walking a tightrope, and if they fall off even once, it's over for them. And they might be in that position soon. King's Castle going to up the pressure. As Realize will have it. Nitcha. Alves. Stromboli. And Alves now on 1! Off the bar and in! Alves continues to shine! A hat-trick this game! Stromboli making a real good case for why they should stay in this one. As Realize again, looking for the lead. At this point, if you're Stromboli, looking for Game 5 to follow. Oh, a miss there, though. Lev has it in front, has Alves, who will send it away. That is caught by Nitcha. Played across to Lev, who can shoot from here, will opt not to. Instead, I think he's waiting for Nitcha. Bump. Alves, he's still there. Nitcha can't go. It's a 2-on-1 for Stromboli, albeit they are not making it look very pretty. As here goes Lev. Multiple extra flips to work with. Low boost here for Alves. He's also fallen up the crossbars, so Realize he's in a bad spot. It's not going to be made any better with that team bump. We'll keep it out as Alves got to be careful not to get demoed here. Really the only one playing defense at this point for Stromboli. Oh, as Realize jumped in, he's going to hate that decision because it's an easy one for Nitcha, and the King's Castle can hold on to this lead from here. There is less than 30 seconds left, and Realize may have just thrown away the game right there. King's Castle can hold this lead for this amount of time. There's no doubt about it. Stromboli's going to have to really earn this next goal. They're going to have to really work for it as well. They're a team who has been not afraid to overcommit on offense, this is not a position I'd want to be overcommitting on, but they have to. Realize. Well played by Nitya. Alvaz to follow. Doesn't get that ball either. Lev to have it away. Reminder that elimination waiting here. Stromboli must score in these final seconds or else their tournament is over. Realize to keep it. It is over for them. King's Castle is into losers round 5. Alvaz and Realize will be out of the tournament. A difficult start for them in this series. And it just kind of falls from there. If they had started up a little hotter like they did in the last two games of the series, I think we could be seeing a very different outcome. But they started slow, and King's Castle from there on out could kind of close things out from there. Meaning next up is losers round 5. Again against either 86 or I'm charking it. That would be Hesse and Impo, by the way, on Obv. It would be 86's Hollow and Ariel. So some pretty good players. These are all players I know. I would expect we play against Hesse and Impo. That's a good team. A team that, again, for Nature and Lev, they played against Hesse and Eris 2 days ago. They got swept by that team. So they have a bit of a rematch here against against Hesse. Against Impo. Someone that they'd like to have a word with. We'll see what they can do about it. For now, our lower bracket run continues. That match is still underway. We'll give it a few more minutes, but us at least, it's round 5, meaning we're still in the lower bracket. We're still playing in the lower bracket. And we've got, of course, more matches now in the lower bracket. But, of course, there's always that chance to still lose. We would need to win 2 more times. And we did, by the way, get an update that Dale's team in the lower quarterfinals. So we can look ahead at that team as well. That team, Dale's, pretty good roster. That is Manzer Flying and Josh. I think this is a very doable bracket if you're King's Castle. I think no matter who you play against, you got a good chance to beat any of them. But you got to play like it. That's the tough part here. You've got to play like it. So for now, we will wait and see who our next opponent will be. But again, my guess would be Hesse and Impo on Ob. But we'll wait. We gotta wait a little bit longer for that match. That match is still underway. We'll give it some time. When we come back, we'll have losers round 5. Mind you that there's still elimination online. Still a lot to play for, but still a lot more matches. Stick around for more RLCS.
I say I'm never like this. Do you need me the way you say you do? Treading lightly through the water, through the light and darkness. If I'm not careful, my love might consume you. Pulling me back into my body. I wanna take my time with you. Your lips are gonna haunt me. If what you say is true, pulling me back into my body. I'm just a dead man walking. I'm just a pawn, but nothing hurts better than you. Pulling me back into my body. I'm just a dead man walking. I'm just a pawn, but nothing hurts better than you. Pulling me. Are we doomed to the fate laid out before us? Can you lift it? 'Cause with a single kiss you. Your lips are gonna haunt me. If what you say is true, pulling me back into my body. I'm just a dead man walking. I'm just a pawn, but nothing hurts better than you. Pulling me. I'm pulling me. Pulling me. If what you say is true, pulling me back into my body. I'm just a dead man walking. I'm just a pawn, but nothing hurts better than you. Nothing hurts better than you. Yeah, nothing hurts better than you.
Welcome back to RLCS 2026. This is the 2v2 North America Open Day 2. Losers round 5 in just a moment. We do have an update. It's gonna be Hesse and Impo who we're playing against there. They just swept 86, so that is the team name of I'm charking it. Unless they misspelled maybe charging. I don't know what. I wish I could tell you what that team name means. But it is Hesse and Impo on that roster. Very good. They've actually lost earlier. They lost to Dales earlier in the bracket in the winners round 1, so they've had to make quite the lower bracket one. As I said, seeding this event kind of all over the place because they don't have points to go off of. So you're going to see a lot of weird matchups like this. For King's Castle, they actually just, again, as I mentioned, I'm going to mention this one more time. They played Impo 2 days ago in another 2v2 tournament. It was the double commit 2v2 warm up. Now that was a best of 3. They got swept in that series. Impo, who was with Eris in that event, won that whole thing. He swept everybody. They were by far the best team in that tournament. It wasn't even close. So that definitely doesn't bring a lot of confidence if you're King's Castle here. The nice thing is, this isn't the 2v2 warm-up. This is a RLCS best of 5. You've got time. And I'm going to say this, that Dales team, which is Manser Flying's team, a good team, Manser Flying and Josh, that's a good team. I think both these matches are very winnable if you are King's Castle. I don't think there's any, impossible looking matchups here. Of course, though, they've got to win it and they've got to prove it. Now, they're only 2 wins away now from the top 32. It's a very doable thing, but you've got to really earn it here. And for Hesse and Impo, who again, lost after that winners round 1 match, they actually got swept by Dales. They've actually swept every match since then, as well. We actually can't go back. They started in losers round 2. They swept Lethal. Then they swept the Chihuahuas, which is a team that's made top 32 in 3v4. And they swept 86, which is players that have made it close to top 32 in RLCS before. And of course, now they get to take on King's Castle. But considering they've been sweeping everybody, to tell you, they're not a team to mess with. They're not a team to take easy here. They're going to be tough. They're going to be real tough. So this is losers round 5, what will be, I think, our 4th match of the day. Oh boy. We've had a long night of action so far, but action doesn't stop here on the Sportia stream. If you guys want to have Bcast stream matches, if you guys have been liking what you've been seeing so far tonight, please message me on Discord, exclamation point Discord, or SportyFC on Discord. Of course, support me on social media at SportyFCRL on X or Twitter, whatever you call it. SportyFC on YouTube. Please support me. Get me to stream your matches. I love streaming this stuff. I don't just stream RLCS. I stream everything from amateur leagues to tournaments to obviously RLCS to just about anything really when it comes to Rocket League related events. So please, if you want to have your match streamed for Rocket League, I'm down to do so. Show matches, amateur league tournament, amateur leagues, tournaments for 1s, 2s, 3s, Heat Seeker. I've done Heat Seeker before. You could have me obviously do. Obviously, there's RLCS here. Of course, there's the 1v1 Open coming up pretty soon for North America. That's in 2 weeks. So that's going to be here. I would expect a good amount of players are going to be in that. Of course, there's the 3v3 Last Chance Qualifier in late July for North America, Europe, South America, and the Middle East. They all have that thing. That's coming up pretty soon. A lot of great things happening as well. But for now, it's, us here on the King's Castle taking on Hesse and Impo. Going to be a tough matchup. That's definitely for certain. NC and Impo, not unknown players. These guys have made top 32 at least. These guys have made runs to top 32 before. They're very well known. I believe they're both X rank, so they'd be the same rank we are. And we're getting to the point where the players we're playing against are going to be like A and X rank players. So matchups that on paper at least, it can go either way in terms of ranking. Of course, we are the higher seed. We're going to be the higher seed for every match today, but it doesn't really matter. We got to play our game. Going to be a tough road to recovery, but we'll have to be ones to make it happen. For now, we'll wait and see, but I'm looking forward to this match, and really to seeing if this team can get the momentum that they've had. Again, Hesse and Impo have had a long run so far tonight. They've been on a roll. 3 straight sweeps in the lower bracket. That's exhausting, by the way, but I have to imagine that's exhausting to have to play that many lower bracket matches. As well, mind that the minimum you can play today would be 3, which is not that bad. But to have to lose in your first match, then have to play 3 straight, and really not get breaks, by the way. We got a break in between our upper bracket and our lower bracket. They did not. Meaning, they had a rough go at it, that's for certain. But we are just about ready to get into this. Just waiting on full update. Still taking a while to report. I'm surprised it's taking this long to report, but we'll get it reported soon enough here for all of you. But again, 3-1 win here for King's Castle in that last series. We have not had a sweep today. I don't think we're going to get a sweep in this series. Knowing how good Hesse and Impo are, they should at least take a game, maybe even 2 games off us. It might be a series where we need to win in game 5. Realistically, like, they're that good. They've been that good, at least against us as well. It might be a series where we need to win in game 5. We'll see. One thing that definitely concerns for Nietzsche and for Lev is that if they cannot win one-on-one, they don't have a lot of other options. And I know Hesse and Impo can play that kind of game against them. So I know something that Impo did before with Darius. Of course, I didn't get to see them, but I know for a fact that if what I'm seeing today is true about Nietzsche and Lev and that they're playing heavy one-on-one, I have to imagine that Impo is able to play that. And I mean, Hesse's going to be able to play that too. Eris obviously was able to play that. Hesse's going to be able to play that. Everybody's going to be able to, those guys going to be able to play it. So knowing Hesse and Impo, they're almost certainly going to be playing that. They almost certainly can handle that one-on-one. Again, for Nietzsche and Lev, they're going to have to be creative on what they do offensively if they are to not be completely left out to dry. As there we go. Match has been reported. Prediction poll is still up. Get your votes on who you think will win this one. Because it's either win, go to the qualification match, or lose and see your run over. So it is just that in its own. Next round's the qualification round. For the team that wins this, it would be against Dales for Hesse and Impo. It would be a rematch for the team that sent them to lowers initially in this tournament. For Nietzsche and Lev, it's the round that they hate the most. Lev and Nietzsche have, Lev's at least told me before, he hates the lower bracket qualification round. He always gets nervous during it. And he's a player that's known to go the distance. I know Pigeon, who is his teammate in Breeze, also knows that he goes the distance often in a lot of these things. So in terms of everything, that's a high pressure round. Still, that's the round ahead of them here, and that's the round you want to be into if you're Nietzsche and Lev. Get yourself to that point. Again, Dales, at least a team that's been proven to be very good today. Mans are flying, and Josh. Came into this thing actually with a pretty high seed, so really making good use of it. They actually almost beat Space Station, which is interesting. They almost beat Space Station Gaming in the upper qualification round. So that should tell you how well they're playing. If they're able to manage Space Station, which Who's Space Station have for this event? Who is on their team for this event? That would be Zack and Reveal. They almost beat Space Station, and we know how good those players are. That should tell you how they're playing today. Very well, and I know Mans are playing well enough. He's a very good twos player, so he's going to be a massive problem, no matter who plays against him. But for now, it's just get through this best of 5. I'm surprised we still haven't had the lobby made. We'll wait a little bit then for this. Again, hopefully all of you are doing well, enjoying yourself. Having a good time, hopefully. While we wait a little bit longer here for that lobby to be made. I say for Nightshot and Lev, there's a lot of time for them to talk about things here while they're reporting. Because this reporting takes taking longer than expected, they got a lot to talk about here, knowing who they're playing, going up against. And I have to imagine, if you are Nightshot and Lev, one of the things you're going to be talking about is the issues that you've been having today, at least in terms of being able to adapt your playstyle. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that's been hurting them today is their inability to adapt to things. Their one loss against a team that did their playstyle better, and one that they just weren't ready to battle against because they couldn't manage against them. So for Nightshot and for Lev, that's going to be something they'll look into, especially considering I think they're going to need to be able to use it against Hesse and Impo, who I don't think they're going to be. I think they're going to be a team that takes 1 or 2 games off of us at least. I don't see how they would ever not take at least a game off of us. That's going to be something. Another thing's going to be about predictability, and I think in ways the inability to rotate at times I think has been off for Nightshot and Lev. I've so often seen Lev and Nightshot on the same page on what they want to do on offense. Sometimes that rotation falls, especially when things get fast. They seem to have that issue more. We'll see if that becomes a problem here. If it does, Hesse and Impo can play fast. They're going to catch you on that. So that Nightshot and Lev also need to be paying attention to. But for now, we wait. We wait for true confirmation on what's happening here. As I think finally our match has been reported. Yeah, it has. Finally, they're making the lobby here, so we should be in any moments. I apologize, guys. I clearly ended my break a bit too soon. Probably should have gone on for a few more minutes. Goodness, we're good to go. And we'll be starting with losers round 5. Again, if we take a look at our bracket here and how things have been going tonight, for all of you who are watching and are wondering how things are going tonight, of course, you don't see our upper portion section, but again, we initially had our win against Employees, then we had our loss to Pyrix and Tufio. Of course, now in lower bracket, we just beat Stromboli. Of course, next up, Hesse and Impo. Hesse and Impo up next. Winner moves on to the qualification round. Loser is out. And hopefully, just hopefully, this round will be another good one for us. One where I can see this team improve. Because simply put, they're going to need to elevate their gameplay as the night goes on. And these last 2 rounds are very difficult. I'd put them on par of what we saw earlier. Well, I don't know how good, again, Tufio and Pyrix are compared to these guys, but I mean, at least I know from history, this team has not been able to, has struggled against Hesse and Impo before. So, we'll see. Again, they struggled against Impo only 2 days ago in a 2v2 tournament. I don't think historically they've done well against Hesse either, who's been a long-term time teammate with Impo. So, my expectations are it's going to be a tough one, and it's going to be one where you need to elevate, because this is a team that you have not had a good history against. It is not an easy matchup for Nightshot and Lev. Seems like we might be moving somewhere. Yes, we are. Right, we're moving to the party, and we'll get things set up momentarily. Reminder that there's only one 2v2 open as well this season, meaning this is it for you. You really don't get second chances. Unlike in 3v3 where you have 6 events and then you got an LCQ, so 7 total 3v3 events, you only get 1 for 2v2 and you only get 1 for 1v1. That's it. It really does come down to how well you play and pop off. As there we go. Seems like we're just about to start, so there it is. They are just about to start here. He's letting us know he's rank C, apparently. I can tell you he's not. He's either X or S. I think he's X rank. I would have to check. I actually don't remember. I know for a fact that they're either X or S. I think he's X, though. I know Eris is S rank. Who, again, someone that they played against not too long ago, who is a very good player, Eris, so would not be surprised to see him make a top 32 run. But for us tonight, here we go. Best of 5 elimination online. King's Castle actually on the blue for this match. I'll fix that up eventually. It's, for the first time we're on the blue here. It's Hesse and Impo on the orange. 1 goal already from Hesse. Well, for now, what can only be described as a poor start here for King's Castle. I still forgot to update my overlay. I'll do that whenever another goal goes in. If they can tie things up, I'll do it. As actually, you know what? Hesse actually might be C rank. I just noticed there's a guy in the 6-man Discord named Hesse that's C rank. If that's him, he clearly hasn't updated his rank. He clearly hasn't played 6-mans in a while. I can tell you he'd be X rank player, though. He'd be like an X rank player. Knowing what the people that he's been around is, that's a good save there from Nightja. Hesse will keep things airborne and try to clear it away. Impo is, by the way, A rank. Hesse would be, again, X or A rank, actually. He might be A rank. I would have considered him to be X rank level, but I have no clue, because he doesn't have one. So, A or X rank. I know for a fact that Eris, who is a longtime teammate of both these guys, is, I believe he's S rank. He might be A rank now. Sorry, he might be X rank now. Nope, he's S. I'm right. But yeah, he actually is ranked C right now, I think, Hesse, so that's pretty interesting. He's not wrong. Anyways, I can tell you for a certain he's at least A rank. Oh, he's gonna own goal there. Well, that's an own goal for Impo. That's not good timing. Now let's get serious here. Tie game in game 1. This is a huge game, by the way. Because again, Hesse and Impo, very good players, very notable players. And again, players that they have struggled with before, at least for King's Castle. As there we go. Now we flipped it. We're on the blue here for this match. Just King's Castle looking to take that lead. Hesse and Impo have had a long night so far. Definitely one thing that they're going to be I'm looking at to see that might be an issue for them. As for any team that's had to make this kind of run in lowers, is how tired are they? This is not easy. I mean, they lost earlier than they were expecting. Well, I mean, not really. They were expected to lose that winners round 1 match, but they lost earlier than they would have wanted to. I mean, they've already had to play 3 straight rounds in lowers, so while they have swept all of them, and it obviously helps you with not being as tired, still a lot of matches to play in a row without really much of a break to think of. I mean, I guess the 5 to 10 minute break we've had in between these series could help, but that's not a lot of time to sit out. I mean, we've had a 15-minute break between our uppers and lowers, so they didn't really have that kind of break between uppers and lowers. And well, of course, they're a very solid duo. I guess the question still stands on how tired they really are. I mean, that's not something that if I'm King's Castle, I'm really reliant on, because they've clearly been playing well, and you got to play well against them. Nightja's gonna drop it in, and one-on-one, I trust Nightja in this position, and I mean Lev does too. He was up very high. He knew what Nightja was doing. He was going right for that 50-50, and even if he doesn't win that 50-50 challenge, at the very least, he's punching it back for Lev to take it. really a position there where no matter what happens, King's Castle should score. And Hesse and Impo will now be down by 1 in this game. Nightya to Lev. Another upfield passing. This one will work well. Always nervous when I see them going for those upfield passes because they have not worked tonight. Definitely a nervy situation if you're Nightya and Lev. Because again, they have been not great, those passes. Fortunately, that one does work well. They're on offense still, but they won't get a goal out of it. And in fact, actually a demo does mean that they're going to have at least some time to get back and keep this ball for now. Lev, Nightya going for the bump here. Just going to make sure he doesn't overcommit on this play, as Lev will seal the ball right out of him. And look at this, Hesse and Impo both waiting. This is a very slow move. This feels like the slowest moving game of the day so far. No one's really trying to outpace each other. Both kind of trying to play their game, their style, and with their kind of accuracy. Which is, I guess, not new to me. I mean, once you get to the part where you get A and up, you start to see games slow down. Because everybody is fast enough, and you don't really always need to outpace everybody. A lot of these highlight teams don't really do it because they kind of understand that outpacing each other is kind of futile at times because everybody's so fast, everybody can keep up with each other. So a lot of times, it actually is better to slow things down and just play really quality, because you let your mechanics kind of win over these games. So far, a very low-scoring Game 1. And for King's Castle, at least, their hopes of staying in the lower bracket may just be realized here, as Impo, taken away by Nightya, will be Hesse now, who is being chased around. He got a shot off, but it's one that Lev has covered. Now Impo, last chance of the game. Hesse doesn't have boost, so Impo's gonna go slowly here. Resets, blocked out. Lev can't go. Hesse to Impo! And to the net! We have overtime in Game 1. Well, a designed pass from Hesse. I think King's Castle knew exactly what he wanted to do there as well, and still couldn't save it away. Overtime now, and for Hesse and Impo, what a game would be for them, coming back at 0 seconds to win it. That'll be a huge dent for King's Castle in their confidence. It's off the post. It's in front of the net, and Impo will take it there. Not only does he score the goal at 0 seconds, he scores the game winner in overtime. Hesse and Impo will start off with a win. And an impressive one at that. Impo continually being a major pain for Nightya and Lev. And he continues to find ways to infuriate them. Because again, they do not have a good history against him. Game 2 now. King's Castle, who felt like they had things in Game 1. It wasn't exactly easy for them, but they had a lead. And a reasonable one at that. A 1-goal lead can win you matches at this point. It's not what you want, but you can take wins on that. Obviously that lead didn't hold, and well, Hesse and Impo are going to look to continue to drive the knife deeper. Nightya saved away. He was right in front of the net too, but just not enough of an angle to work with. As Hesse will need to play smart here, he will instead wait. That's a perfectly intelligent position, as Lev will clear it back to Nightya. Impo can't go. He will try to get the bump, but he won't connect, and Hesse's got to play smart here again. Great challenge there. Lev gets through Impo. 1 to beat. Impo still trying to get a piece of him. Low boost here, but Hesse doesn't mind. He'll get the challenge. And King's Castle forced back to defense here once again. Impo with full boost. Look at where Hesse is sitting. He is waiting for the pass. He might not even need to get there, as that's a touch he would have liked a little bit more on. Lev on the long touch. Nightya looking for the triple tap. My goodness, he won't get the angle he wanted, but he at least makes some offense. As a miss for Hesse. Impo to clear. Another long touch. Lev waiting. Nightya unable to shoot. It's stretching the King's Castle here with how many times they're going upfield with these heavy passes. That's gonna go in though! Where's the defense? It's all gone! Yes, and Impo caught, well out. They both pushed up for that play. Maybe a bit mindless there, but that's huge for King's Castle. It's another lead here in this series. As we know from last game, though, a 1-goal lead is not anything to be happy about. Leads have clearly not been enough. Zlev. Oh, he's got a perfect pass tonight, And we were watching the live view of Hesse there, who was kind of just, again, taking his mind off the ball here. And when Hesse and Impo are kind of just sitting well away from each other, King's Castle are more than happy to keep scoring. But yeah, the goals for King's Castle right now this game have been when Hesse and Impo just aren't connecting and aren't on the same idea. We've seen that a lot tonight with these 2v2 teams. Again, a lot of these teams, 2v2 players, they might be 2v2 duos, but not in like RLCS, not in this kind of tournament. The experience they might actually have together is probably not super high in this kind of pressure. Because there aren't that many 2v2 tournaments. And definitely none that are really at this level. Oh, there's a big collapse there. Hesse needed to get that touch. Impa will bail him out. Look at him. He's going upfield for the bump. He won't connect. And Hesse's gotta... like, cannot overcommit here. He will play it up the side wall. Easy clear for Lev. And Hesse's not going to be back quickly here. Oh, doing a great job at winning those challenges. Hesse doesn't need to get back if the ball doesn't go to his own half of the field. Here goes Lev. Resets. Saved away. That follow-up touch will stay high, and Nitja waiting for the challenge. Waiting for Impo! Who still makes the block. Whereas in Impo, that offense really slowing down at this point because of how far back they've had to play defensively. As Lev again. Reset. Almost fooled Hesse there, trying to go behind him. Nitja and Lev right now, this has been a masterclass performance in how you make your opponents fear you. As Impo's going to go back quickly here. He's already in net. He wasn't going to take any risks in that play, knowing what's happening. As Hesse, ooh, he didn't want that touch. King's Castle are going to be able to at least take an option from here. It will not be a shooting option. Hesse again, unable to get that ball out. Impo, ooh, he did not read that well. Hesse now, demo on Impo. Hesse bumped as well. And, oh, look at this from Lev. Break checked Hesse on Impo. It's easily blocked out, but he does force the defense to sit back more. As here goes Impo. He's looking for Hesse to shoot from here. Oh, he needed more on that. Nitja doesn't get a good touch, though. Follow-up chance. That's one. Read by Nitja perfectly. Here goes Impo. Hesse looking. Oh, he's faked it. Lev's got there to help him out. Whereas in Impo, a play that I think they would have loved to have. They know their offense can work, but time's going to be the problem for them here. We may have a very decisive game for you in this series. 30 seconds. Nitja looking to end things here. He won't have the goal there, but he does play it back to Lev, and at this point, all Lev needs to do is wait. Impo has to go. And Hesse waiting back. Nobody home. 10 seconds and counting. That's just swept off the line by Impo. He'll clear it away, but for the King's Castle, maybe the best performance we've seen to them all night. Just so clean. You never felt like they were losing this game either. From start to finish, that was the best they've looked all evening. And they need to play like that, or else life's going to prove to be very difficult for them. Game 3 up next, and as I said, a decisive Game 3 at this point. Well, it could be a decisive Game 3. It may be close, but it could be a decisive Game 3 here to determine match point, series lead. Remember that, again, there's a team waiting ahead of us in Dales in the lower quarterfinals. That's the lower qualification round. That's a very good 2v2 team. One that took down Hesse and Impo earlier tonight in a sweep. Whereas in Impo, they're looking for that rematch. They know. I mean, they must have thought that I wonder what they're thinking about that potential rematch. I think for a lot of players, when they get swept like that, they feel like they haven't been able to prove themselves. They haven't been able to get warmed up. If that's what they're thinking, they'll have ample reason to try to redeem themselves. Again, these are Impo and Hesse, consistent players who've made the top 32 positions. They are not unknowns in the grand scheme of things, as that's a big giveaway and an open net for Lev. He just waited, and for Hesse, for Impo, a blunder of the highest order. I think he's looking for Hesse on that pass, because otherwise there's no reason to clear the ball like that. But it was obviously not at Hesse, if that's where he was going. Now a fake kickoff. Only we'll get the boost from this. Oh, but Hesse doesn't get the play. This will be potentially another open net for Lev if he can put it on. He will. It's 2-0 now. And Hesse and Impo trying some designed offensive counterattacks. They have not worked so far. And the momentum for Nitya and Lev, it's picking up here in the lower bracket. And if they can keep that momentum rolling, again, any team here is beatable for them if they can just keep the momentum. Nitya, 3-0. It's another open goal here. My goodness, Hesse and Impo are falling apart as we're watching. And we saw a glimpse of this last game where both of them kind of left each other not on the same page, but we're seeing it often in this game, and far too often in this game. It's already almost 6 seconds gone. 3 straight open nets, and all of them, again, from miscommunications from Hesse and Impo. Again, these guys are longtime teammates. These guys have been together for a while. It surprises me they're not on the same page convincingly as Lev. It's got Nitya. I would like to see him go for the pass too. Right to Nitya. Oh, taken away. He may have another chance on this. He will. Trying to roll it towards the net. It was never really going to beat Hesse in that position, but he'll go for it anyways. As for Hesse and Impo now, they're the ones on the back ropes. After what we saw was a game 1, but was very even. Since then, King's Castle just look so much better. After, sorry, a game 2 that got away from them. Or was it game 1? It was game 1 that got away from them. They've just been so much better right now. King's Castle, again, this is convincing, definitely. I don't know how often we get these kind of convincing wins at this point of your tournament. They don't happen often, but they have a huge effect on a series like this. Because when it comes to, the important moments, these are the games to think about as players. The ones that you've either won by a ton or lost by a ton. These are kind of matches that stick in your brain. Either these are really, really close ones. King's Castle flipping the story from what was a 0-second goal to an overtime loss. Now to a game where Impo and Hesse don't even want to finish it. Like this game, they just want it to be over. They're gonna forfeit this game outright. As I do actually have a cat with me, so hopefully we'll get to show you that for a moment. It's Comet, who says hi. Hello, say hi, Comet. Oh, what? You're looking the wrong way. Say hi, Comet. Okay, I'm sorry. Go do whatever you want. You might want to go. She might want to go to sleep here. She sometimes shows up to go to sleep on my bed. Well, we'll go to game 4 now. Nitya and Lev. What he did, as I said, game 3 could be real decisive for them. That was decisive. Oh, here we go. Series onward. Game 4. Match point now for King's Castle. One more win, and then to the qualification round that seems to haunt Lev and Nitya. It definitely has haunted Lev, though, a lot. So this season he's done well to win in that moment. That qualification round has always been haunting for him. He's mentioned to me how nervous he gets in that position. And honestly, you can't blame him. For a guy who has made his first top 16 in North America only this season. Tells you just how haunting it is for him to be in that top 32 qualification round, knowing that it's winning in or losing out. This season has been one where Lev has been clutch at times in that position. Still, they gotta get a win to get there, and that will not help you. Lev misread this one. And left an open chance for Hesse, who just takes it. And fortunately for him, Nitya doesn't actually have boost, so that goes in. If Nitya has boost, he saves that. If Lev gets that touch, it doesn't result in a shot. Just a couple bad things happening at the same time, and a real unfortunate goal. And we haven't seen Game 5 today. As I said, I would not be surprised if this series goes the distance. For now, we wait to see if the impressive performance from Lev and Nitya continue. They have looked very good this series, but they haven't won the series just yet. So it was a stall there from Hesse. We don't see that very often. He went for a stall on that reset. That's a freestyle move, if you're wondering. I don't think I've ever seen. You don't typically see players at this rank level do that because you don't really need to get good flip resets. If you can manage your flip well, if you can handle your flip, if you have good air control, you can handle where your car's flipping and get really good flip resets that way. Obviously not going for it. He didn't have the right angles. Now he's going to go for the 50-50 challenge and take it. And things are getting worse here for King's Castle. Game 5 may be on the cards. Still 3.5 minutes, but the nerves starting to creep in a little bit, I'd have to imagine. Hesse, Impo, Nitya looking for one long touch. Impo will catch it and clear this ball away. It's Lev now. Ooh, he's going to get bumped along the way here. Nitya's going to have to give up on offense, and he doesn't get the boost either. That's a free shot for Impo, one that won't go in. It almost nearly did, though. Nitya just got a touch on that, but well, that's not going to help him either. He's going to get this up the back wall and clean it away. Impo. Lev. Another very aggressive challenge, and this is one that could really hurt you. 2-on-1, Nitya with no chance. Not only does he not have boost, he doesn't have any support behind him. Lev, who missed his challenge. And this game is getting worse for King's Castle. And boy, I would not want to see them on Game 5. That's not to say that they don't have a good history on Game 5. Again, Lev has been clutch this season on teams, but that's on Team South in 3v3. That's a whole different roster. And a whole different situation. This is a different mode, a different position, a different situation, and a different level of competition. Who knows how Game 5 will go. If that is where this match is ending up, and it feels like it is right now, where this match is ending up. Well, I did mention before the series that I didn't think that Hesse and Impo would be a team that would drop, I thought they would be a team that would win at least a game in the series, and a good chance to win 2 as well. Well, only 2 minutes away from that being a reality here. As Impo to clear. Eris to follow. Hesse to follow. Sorry, Eris was Impo's teammates in the 2v2 warm-up on this stream. As Lev, ooh, he really didn't like that move. He still doesn't like this from Impo, and Nitya has to play defensively here. He's got to lose that 50-50s that Lev can get to it early. He still doesn't. Nitya running lower on boost at this point, meaning he's not going to get this ball out of his own half of the field. And in fact, here goes Impo looking to score. Reset! Does get blocked by Lev, but I mean, that is a whole, minute, that's almost a whole minute of just offense from Hesse and Impo. That's a whole minute of time gone that Nitya and Lev need if they are to win in this game. As here's Lev again, with the extra flip. We'll play it out to Nitya! And if there's any hope of a comeback, it starts here with 1 minute and 4 seconds left. 64 seconds. They're gonna need to work fast in this final minute. We saw a 0-second goal to equalize earlier. This series is one that may have a lot of dramatics still left in it. The King's Castle, though, they've got to work fast. Nitya. Tough bounce to read if you're Hesse. Still leaving it for Knight. who will look for someone to follow. Lev, it's by one. Flick over. Hesse is in a real tough spot. Well, there's a couple players jumping, no one able to get there. Hesse on the whiff. Aicha now. He's got Lev, but he's got his own room to work with. Looking for the bump. He got one, but he will be stopped by Info short. Lev now, it's one off the post. He looks for Naicha. There is a clear away by Info. King's Castle getting real close now to the Hesse and Info defense. Unfortunately, it might just be too late for this. Naicha. Lev, that pass won't connect. And this will be the end of Game 4. We have Game 5 for the first time in this tournament. And it's with elimination on the line as well. Either Hesse and Info get the rematch in the qualification round, or Naicha and Lev get to live another day. Kept up. Hits the floor. And we will see the series go the distance. One more win. And you're into the qualification round. One more loss. And that's it for the tournament. This is it for these teams. I mean, you can feel the nerves. It is a high pressure, high tension environment. And a difficult one to be in. And yet, win you must to keep the season, to keep the tournament going. For these teams who are obviously trying to fight for top 16 spots. Right now, obviously top 32 is on their mind. It doesn't get much more shaky than this, I think, if you're Naicha and Lev. They're top 16 seeds. They're the number 16 seed. They're expected to be here tomorrow. They're battling just to stay in it, to get to the qualification round. This is Game 5. Oh, the pressure doesn't get much higher than this. If you're Naicha and Lev. This series has been a strong one so far. But strong may not cut it against Hesse and Info. 5 more minutes on the clock. One more chance to prove yourself. One more win needed for either team. We've seen our fair share of dramatics already. And I'm certain this game may have a couple more for us. Lev, waiting. Info won't be able to challenge. No boost left in the tank, and he'll leave this ball. Lev's got Naicha. He's also got a flip reset here. We'll play it straight to Info, though, and he's got to be careful not to get bumped out of the way. Naicha goes early. Lev, straight on the follow. And he will wait under it. Lev gets by. Waiting under, it's Naicha, who can shoot from here. It's a tough touch, though. That is straight to Info, and he doesn't have the boost to work with. Lev's gonna be real happy about that. He didn't have a lot either. And he'll just send it down the field. Not a play that's on target, though. He needed to put that on target. He's gonna make Hesse play defensively. Instead, it goes on net! And Naicha too slow to read it. It's Hesse! And the first goal of Game 5. Naicha just too slow to read that one. Hesse and Info read that before he did. And the pressure is mounting. King's Castle, who have again had some beautiful performances in this series. They need somebody to step up here. Hesse again. Pinched away. And the big thing I would be worried about if I'm King's Castle at this point is overcommitting, is getting antsy, getting nervous, overthinking things. It's so easy to do that when you're down in a Game 5 scenario like this. When you know what the record that Hesse and Info have, you gotta play your game, and you gotta keep things simple. Shot from Lev, tied up at 1. He even called off Naicha initially on this play. He knew what he was going to do here. And he still takes down 1 point. Hands are flying, and Josh waiting in the losers quarterfinals. Match that would qualify you to the top 32 and to tomorrow. And here we go. Long touch. Pinch back. Ooh, and a bump as well. Lev's gonna have to go back to defense. That was not what he was looking for. And he wants to support Naicha as well, who is low on boost at this point. No boost, actually, at this point. He'll cut across with 50. And slow down Hesse from getting any opportunities, but again, nothing to work with. Impo. Cleared away. That was going to be a goal written all over it. Instead, it goes back to the King's Castle. Off the back wall. Read perfectly by Hesse, but no clear from Impo. Lev to Nitya. Gets by one. It's just swept away. Low boost here for Hesse and Impo. A little bit of panic as well. That ball is going across the net over and over again. King's Castle just choosing to wait. They don't need to risk it. They do need to be aggressive here. Oh, it's a whiff for Levi. Has had a couple issues with those reads. This one low will be cleared out, and actually it will be Nitya. One-on-one on Hesse to the net. Back wall. Lev, surely he's waiting on it on two. That's in! It's Lev who just takes his time. What a nerve-wracking environment for Lev. Just has to wait on this to see his options. Under 2 minutes to go. King's Castle, hold the lead for now. Impo to tie! Right off the kickoff. And we're still all even at this point. What was King's Castle's triumph now leads to a potential downfall once again. Hesse and Impo not leaving them alone. Hesse, back wall. He can score from that position. Lev doesn't have the boost. He really can't challenge here. Oh, but he does such a good job at forcing Impo to wait. Impo knows that if he doesn't get that challenge, it's a goal for Lev. As long as Lev has boost. Fortunately, I don't think he realized that Lev didn't have boost in that position. Had he known, he would have been able to score in that position. Instead, here goes Nitya to take the lead. Off the post, always hit it wide. Could not put in the follow-up shot. Lev was waiting as well. He could have taken that effort if he had to. But it won't come for the King's Castle. Game 5 onward. Nitya again. That's off the crossbar. And he's got it this time. Pandemonium in front of the net! The nerves are really showing for these teams! But King's Castle still have it in their hands. Less than a minute to go in regulation. This felt like the longest game so far tonight. Hesse and Nimbo can make it longer if they get one more. Infield pass. On target! Oh, they missed it! Lev and Nitya both hanging out in the corner. And Nitya really in no great position to challenge. This game gets a little bit longer. And if that's the goal that leads to their downfall, boy oh boy, Nitya is not gonna forget about that one for the rest of the season. And he's bumped again! This game has slipped back and forth and back and forth, and yet this might be the first time this game that Impo and Hesse have had the lead. 27 seconds now. King's Castle must do the late stage comeback. They gotta dance the dance. They gotta do the work. Demo on the kickoff. Oh, Nitya missed it. He's got another chance here. Not able to get one by Hesse. Still Knight. Back past the Lev. He can read this one. Second touch. Looking for the net there. Looking for Nitya instead, who will stay on this one. No boost, though. He's got to be careful he doesn't throw it away. And he might have to do that. Hesse to try to ice this game. He will not get a good flip on there. Lev up in the air. He's got to keep this ball up. It's right in front of his net. Lev there. Hesse will end it there. Impo continues to be the boogeyman of Nitya and Lev. And in Game 5 on Losers Round 5, he will be the Grim Reaper of the King's Castle's run. Nitya and Lev eliminated before the top 32. Solid performance for Hesse and Impo. They get the rematch they've been looking for in the losers quarterfinals against Dales, the team that sent them to this lower bracket to begin with. For Naicha and Lev, a team ranked number 16 in this tournament. As I said earlier tonight, seeding doesn't seem to matter. Seeding can be wrong. Seeding can be deceptive, if I will, at times. Seeding will ultimately be the doom of King's Castle. I'm not saying it was seeding that made this happen. But I will say, though, for Naicha and Lev, it's seeding that may have given them more confidence than they were expecting. Well, to Hesse and Impo, good luck in the lower quarterfinals. We'll play two of them here in round 5, in losers round 5, in game 5. Castle unable to be clutch in the moments. And tonight, I think, was a night for them where by the end of it, you saw them play better, but yeah, they couldn't be clutch in the moments. They couldn't adapt when they needed to. A roller coaster, certainly. Unfortunately, one that only lasts for 2 days, and for King's Castle, they'll have to watch the rest of the tournament from home. This is the only 2v2 Open of the season, the first that we've ever had for North America, and King's Castle will not see their run continue. A true disappointing result for them. I'm sure they would have wanted more. But, truly, a tough result for them, I'm certain. We'll show you all the matches that we've had today. We've had, 4 matches of action? We've had 4 matches today. 2 wins, 2 losses. For King's Castle, they'll feel disappointed. Things didn't go the way they wanted to. For a team that I think was expecting themselves to go to top 32, they will see themselves run short of even the qualification round. And for me, that ends RLCS coverage on this channel for the 2v2 Open. Thank you to Naicha and Lev for inviting me. This is not the first time I've streamed those guys. It will not be the last. I feel for them, because I know they would have wanted more from themselves, but to them I say thank you for inviting me. Thank you for making this run happen. I know they'll have more events in the future to play on, and more events that they can prove themselves and get better with. But here from the Spodia stream, to all of you, thank you so much for joining us for the 2 days of action that we've had for RLCS 2026. 2v2 North American Open. Thank you to King's Castle again, Naicha and Lev for inviting me, and thank you to all of you who have been watching. Again, RLCS is not over for these players. We've got the 1v1 Open. I'm sure both of them will be in that. We've got the Last Chance Golfer. They're going to be in that as well. But for 2v2, that ends the night for them and the night for us as well. Thank you so much for joining. To all of you who've been watching, thank you to Naicha and Lev for the invitation. Thank you to King's Castle for the incredible run. But to all of you, thank you for watching. Have an amazing night. Enjoy the rest of RLCS 2026 2v2 North American Open.